What is up, everybody? It is your boy Forte, and welcome to episode 145 of the Damage Per Second podcast, DPS podcast, DPS for short. It's your boy Forte here with the illustrious Slow-Mo Backslap, the man of many slaps, the man that he actually did make a video recently where he made his episode 2 of The Expanse. Looking forward to.
I made a video today.
Oh, what video did you make? Oh, CC, that's the thing. I've been so busy at work, I didn't even know. So yes, Slow-Mo has made a couple of videos over the course of the last couple of weeks. So Slow-Mo, what's been up? Why would you tell us what that video was about today? Because I didn't even know.
YouTube don't like to send notifications no more, I guess.
They sure didn't.
By the way, I think our icons aren't showing.
Oh, they sure ain't. Mm-hmm.
And Cat Day Alerts is the best intro in the podcast game. You know it, man. It's gonna get even better too, because we've been talking behind the scenes about outdoing ourselves. So just stay tuned. You'll see. But no, the video I made today is everything you need to know about the First Descendant, which is a new looter shooter being developed by Nexon, this South Korean developer, and I can personally tell you it's a very, very, very good game. Like in just playing the closed beta last year, it's everything that I'm looking for in a looter. And another thing I really like about the developers themselves is they're very open, and they do like these dev talks and Q&As, and all the feedback that they get from the community, they take it to heart. If it's like something that the community is really, really behind and really wants, they are absolutely like, okay, we'll do that. We'll take care of that. And even with their release date is just like, and this, unfortunately, you'll love this, right? You'll love this. They said when they drop the game, when they make the release date, is determined by the feedback they get from the open beta. So what that means is that if they get a ton of feedback and there's a ton of work they have to do, they're going to push the data out a little further. If it's not too bad, basically, when they release the game, it's going to be dependent upon the feedback of the community and the game actually being complete. So imagine there's a developer that actually is like, yeah, we want to release the game complete.
Right.
A live service game at that. And they do have like post content planned. But, if you want to know more about, First Descendant, check out the video. Spent a good little time doing my research on all the information that I pulled together to make the video. So go check it out if you have the time.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you go check that out. I'm not gonna slow up the show because I'm literally just refreshing the overall what's the name for it, but for the Discord icons, because I don't know why they're not showing, but they will be in a minute. But yeah, man, it's been pretty busy week. A lot of stuff going on. A week fresh off of me going to GME conference. Seeing a lot of stuff that I got a chance to see a little bit earlier. PlayStation dropping information on a handheld.
Idleslaw wants to know you're gonna tweet out the pod like you told me you were doing.
I did
on the phone. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm doing that now.
Thank you, Idleslaw.
Thank you for saying that, Idle, because I've been literally just working on this thing on my PC. Yeah, but PlayStation's been doing a lot of stuff. Now seeing handhelds that's taking the name of the word PSP, crapping over one of the greatest handhelds ever. Baldur's Gate coming to the Xbox. We're gonna talk about all that different stuff. It's a little bit of everything for here. We got PlayStation topics, we got PC topics, we got console Xbox topics. It's kind of crazy. But other than that, Slow-Mo, what you been up to, man? What you been playing? How have you been over the course of the last week?
I'm pretty good. Are you showing us you XP farming on Xbox?
Oh shoot! You don't do this?
Not on stream.
I didn't. That was, I guess that was in the middle of Battlefield. I was doing I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I do that I make sure I get my points. Game Pass costs too much, and I like getting money back for free. So yeah, you caught me. But what were
I
you about to
I
say,
just
sir?
I don't even know what I was about to say. You asked me what I was playing.
You just saw the Xbox
Oh my
Reward
gosh.
Center
And
and
I'm
was
just like,
like,
why is he showing this? And
I
I'm
didn't
just
know
like,
it was Battlefield at first, and I didn't know. I wasn't
good
paying
grief.
attention to it as I'm trying to fix this overlay. But go
Anyway,
ahead. What were you saying?
let's see here. What I finished Showgunners. I think I talked about that. Did I talk about that last week? I can't remember if I did or not. But I finished Showgunners. Awesome XCOM game. Definitely recommend anybody that's interested in those kind of games to check it out. You won't be disappointed. I have been playing some more Remnant 2. I think we're close to the end.
Yeah, we are getting real
Uh,
close to the end.
with Luca.
In Lucas
Um
playthrough, yeah.
but we all kind of close. So, if we're close to the end in her playthrough, it ain't too far behind on ours as well. Um
Love that. Loving that game.
I I'm now playing the full like completed version. Well, actually, I played the completed version before. It was a different build, but Immortals of Avium, I played that in a
Good shit.
playtest, and I got a free copy for doing the playtest. I got a free copy of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I luckily didn't have to start over. They just kind of kept my progress from where I was. But I feel kind of, I don't know, like I'm not slighted, but just the feedback I gave, and I guess I shouldn't feel slighted because it's like how much feedback can you really give someone when the game comes out 2 weeks before from when you're play testing the game. But I told them that performance wise, like this, most rigs aren't like my rig. A lot of people are
Right.
gonna have a hard time running this game. And it seems as if, so I was averaging probably about like 75 to 85 frames per second
Mm.
with at 1440p max settings with the in the playtest for that game with DLSS quality on. And I'm now averaging 65 to 75 frames per second. So I lost like 10 frames, and I'm not necessarily running max settings. We're kind of playing with. Uh, I did actually was able to get the some of those frames back by optimizing my settings myself. But yeah, it's more demanding in the full release with the after it released than it was in the playtest. But the game is fun, and it's a lot of fun. Can't I can't lie. It's a good time. I know it didn't review very well, but I don't care about reviews. The game's fun. I'm gonna play it. So
It's all that matters, honestly.
right now, that said, if you are on the fence with it and you have like Game Pass or you have EA Play, you may want to just wait until 6 months until it drops on EA Play to give it a shot. But it's a fun game, and I think the combat's really good. The story's all right. It's not like a great story or anything, but they got a lot of like real talent in the voice acting category and the mocap stuff. Because I mean, just Gina Torres is in it. Forgot the main characters, the actor who does the main
I
character, but I've
I
seen him
heard
in
Gina.
a lot of Netflix stuff. I've seen him in a lot of Netflix stuff. Go ahead.
You know, when I was watching gameplay of somebody playing it, I was like, I was listening to the lady talking, and I was like, why does that sound like Gina Torres? I was like, why does that sound like because she plays Ikora in Destiny 2, and I was like,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
do I hear Ikora? And then I was like, is that Gina Torres too? And I go look it on the line, and I was like, Man, I was like, I didn't realize,
Well, you didn't
listen,
have to
man.
do. I mean, they got her mocapped in the game. She
Yeah, they got
played
her mocap in the game. Well,
commander in the game. So
yeah,
if
I
you would
didn't
just
see
watch
her.
a little further, you would have
You would
saw
have
it.
seen her face. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't watch all the way through, but I was like, man, yeah, that's what's up, man. But yeah, I was watching somebody play it, and I was like, man, this looks really cool, really interesting. I'm gonna have to jump into this. Shout out to me about to
Capono in
get
the
snapped
chat
up. Shout
asked
out.
me, slow mo, all the upscaling. Why not native? Because I wouldn't be able to get 60 FPS, maintain 60 FPS if I went native. That's why.
Shout out to me getting snatched up by this monster in the water.
Oh yeah, that was
Bye,
pretty
Forte.
fun. Yeah, and see, and that's the problem when these games are being launched and they are being launched with the game being optimized around upscalers, like Remnant 2 was at launch, optimized for an upscaler. So it's like if you want to play it native, more than likely you're running like a 4080, a 7900 XTX, or a 4090 to play it native. And because it's an Unreal Engine 5 game, your CPU needs to be pretty beefy as well. My CPU is more than fine, but yeah, my my bottleneck with Immortals is my GPU, which is it is what it is. But I'm playing, I optimize the settings. I got it playing at least 60. It'll drop to 60 when it gets busy. But it's a fun game. I know it's pretty short, so I'm probably gonna knock it out pretty fast. But it's a good time. I feel like I've been playing something else, but I can't. Oh yeah, the third episode of The Expanse came out today. I haven't played it yet because I was a bit busy with a lot of stuff, but I will definitely play that tomorrow and have my review out by this weekend for the third episode. For those that are tracking along and playing the game and checking out the reviews, you'll see that this weekend. And I feel like there's one more thing, but I just like I play so many games, I just can't remember everything.
Something. Motherfucker plays a lot of games, y'all.
No, I'll save this for later because it's a topic. So
Yeah,
I played some things. No. It's in regards to one of the topics, so I'll just save it for later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, we can definitely get into those topics. Oh, there's our icons. Yay, icons are back. So, with that being said, we can definitely dive into one of the topics.
Did you get the tweet out?
I was finishing that first. I'm doing the tweet now while I'm talking. So first topic, and I might as well just tweet out the actual name of this topic when I do it too. Baldur's Gate 3 is finally coming to the Xbox platform, not in 2024. Larian Studios says, after having a really good conversation with, they called him P3, they called him by his Twitter handle, Xbox P3, having a conversation with Phil Spencer while he was at Gamescom, they came to a resolution to be able to have Baldur's Gate 3 come to Xbox this year and not in 2024.
What is Baldur's Gate?
It's Baldur's Gate. What you say? Baldur's Gate?
Why you say Baldur's Gate?
It's
because you're saying Baldur.
I said Baldur's.
You're saying Baldur.
Gate. I said Baldur's.
And you like double iconed it up. You got like the Discord. So look, this is dude on Discord. Turn off streamer mode.
Oh,
and I think that will remove the double icons from there.
Is streamer mode turned on?
I mean, this is like it's almost like you haven't been doing this for years.
Streamer mode was enabled.
Everyone in the chat is saying you're calling it boulders, by the way. No, streamer mode disable streamer mode. That's why you got the extra icons there.
It's disabled now. I don't know what that was. Sorry.
You just know what? I'm not whatever. I'm not gonna say nothing else.
I disabled it. Why are you yelling at me, Slow-Mo?
I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling. I am. Everything's great. Let's talk about Baldur's Gate.
It's Baldur's Gate. Don't say it like that. It's Baldur's Gate.
You say it like that.
I didn't say it like anything.
Okay.
I just said it's Baldur's Gate.
I made a little bit more progress in it. I'm still in Act 1, but it's because it's like the ADD in me. It's just so much to do. There's so much going on. I'm exploring. I actually ran into a character I didn't even know I had, like this vampire dude. Like this dude was on the ship that crashed, for those who been playing the game, and I didn't even see him because like I just didn't go to that side of the crashed ship until later on, and he's there, and I'm just like, what? Dang, I just like this whole time I could have had this guy in my party. So he's pretty cool. Tried to bite me, but at the campsite, I woke up, this dude's about to stick his fangs in my neck. I'm like, what you doing, bro? But
Just letting you
um
know.
I'm enjoying the game. That
He's a
said,
little hungry.
it's interesting how they have finagled the I would say politic their way into making sure that the game this game of the year, clear game of the year contender, is coming out on Xbox before the year is out. And it's because they're not doing the local split screen mode on Xbox Series S.
Right.
And so in order to have content parity, it's supposed to be across the board that you're supposed to have all these modes, you're supposed to have all this stuff, but it looks like they have kind of played semantics, playing word games. Well, we want content parity, but a mode's not really content, so it's not that big a deal. If it wasn't that big a deal, then we would never even be having this conversation.
It
right?
was definitely a big deal.
It was definitely a big deal. Like we wouldn't be having this conversation at all because we would have never heard about it. And Baldur Gates and Boulder Gate 3 would have came out on Xbox at the same time as coming out on PS5, and we wouldn't have all not all of them, but a significant number of PlayStation fans capping for a game they don't care for, but just because it's coming out the same day as Starfield, and we wouldn't have a bunch of Xbox guys pretending like the game isn't quality, and it just wouldn't be a big deal. We wouldn't even be talking about this.
You think that's the truth?
I think that is absolutely the truth. I think there is a lot. I think there are some actual real RPG heads who can't wait to play this game on consoles. That said, I think the vast majority of the people that are talking this game up don't care about it. On both sides, they're either hypercritical of certain things, or they're talking up a game that is of a game design that they have never cared for. I've seen people who have like poo-pooed isometric view games for years, called them trash, top-down garbage. The kind of game like they used to laugh at those PC games where the trailer is like some fancy CG trailer, and then you get to the game and it's like that don't look nothing like the trailer. That's the kind of feedback you would hear from a lot of these people about these kind of RPGs. And now, oh my God, I can't wait. I've always been a fan of the Gate. What are you talking about? Could you even tell us who made the first two games? Could you? Like, it's funny. So it's a lot of capping going on, but I think none of that capping would even exist if Larian wasn't very honest about their development issues. And a lot of developers. It might be a lot of developers will look at this situation and say, "This is exactly why we don't tell y'all everything." Because when we tell you everything, you then run with certain narratives that may or may not be true. And so, yeah, this is why they keep a lot of that stuff close to the vest and just talk to the platform holder or the publisher about their issues. But
I think that was one of the main reasons why this turned out the way it did for the best, because this is a pretty monumental shift for Xbox and the things that they do. I also think that good games and games of this caliber, where it's a potential game. Well, it's not a potential game of the year candidate. It will be a nominee for game of the year. And the fact that this game is not available right now on your platform when it's releasing on your competitor's platform and on PC, at this point, PlayStation will be in the next week or so. That's kind of an L, and they don't
Mhm.
need to be taking L's like that anymore. They're talking about making, it accessible for gamers to play wherever they want to play at. And as of right now, people can't play Baldur's Gate on their
Yeah, you said
people can't play Baldur's Gate on their console of choice if they're an Xbox fan. So I always looked at the parity clause as, I can understand not wanting to still have feature parity against your competitors, but if
Mhm.
you have a system, and you did this to yourself, you have a system that is, and I'm not going to say it's GIMP, because it's not a GIMP system. It has its place. It has a place for people that want to play games in this generation at a lower, entry point. That is absolutely a positive thing that they did. But it should never have been tied to the fact that if it doesn't, if the more powerful system can do it, it shouldn't be held back by what the smaller system can't do. And that's kind of what the situation is right now. So it looks like Xbox is like, well, we're still going to have this parity clause in place when it comes to, competitive balance, when it comes to other developers and stuff in their games that they bring to other platforms. If you're going to bring it to Xbox, it has to be feature parity. But as long as it's feature parity to at least the system that it should be, we're willing to, say, yeah, oops, our fault. The biggest thing this kind of tells me, Slow Mo, is I don't know if they're ever going to do this again. I don't know if they're ever going to do. I know they're going to probably do a system where it's probably a cheaper entry point, but I
I
don't
think I
think
think they might go the PlayStation route next time.
exact.
Have
That's what
a
I think
have
they're going to
a
do.
a a digital system that's cheaper.
Yep.
And
Instead of
and
what they
instead
did
of
this
having
time.
a completely separate SKU, or if you're gonna do a completely separate SKU, maybe where you make your cuts, where you may, decide to make some changes here and there to save money, that you not have it in certain places that really cost the system, like the RAM,
Hmm.
so it is what it is. I am very excited for September 6th. So, because I just want to see how many people are playing the game
Oh,
when it comes out September 6th.
well,
And
what you
I
talking
know the
about? For
PC
you talking about?
community will still be playing it.
What you talking
I'll
about?
still be
You want to
playing
see
it.
how many tweets you see from PlayStation people, basically?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Because that's not a game. That's a game you got to actually buy.
yeah.
That's $60 or
Now, granted,
70.
it was at one point. I don't know if it still is, but at one point it was being pre-ordered more than Spider-Man 2. But
Really?
those are, yeah, yeah. But those are real PlayStation fans. and,
Okay,
and
yeah,
and
you're
and
right.
and those aren't the cappers on social media.
You're
So
right.
the real PlayStation fans may, or they might, they'll be putting up, stuff every now and then, on, but like they're not all on social media, and therefore you don't get to see everything that they're doing. But like the cappers, I want to see them putting the gameplay up, and not
Oh yeah.
just like, hey, I created my character. Or actually, I don't even expect that, honestly, because I've seen too many of the of that ilk, hyping up games they've never played, don't even own. So here's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
It is interesting to, everybody, like, you had a lot of people treating this as a pseudo PlayStation exclusive just because it wasn't available on Xbox. And let's be for real, it's like I said, it was an L, but half the people that was capping for this is just like all the people that cap for anything. It's like the only reason you're doing is because you feel like you got the leg up on something, and it kind of fits the narrative of what you want to talk about and stop playing games. And it is what it is. But it's good to know that Larry, and I think the fact that I think Phil Spencer and Xbox was willing to do something like this, mostly due. I want to make this clear. Mostly due to the fact that this game has scored really well, and it doesn't look good to have a 90 plus Metacritic game that's supposed to come on your platform and
Yeah.
not come because of
It,
technicalities.
yeah, going to be a game of the year contender. You know,
Yeah,
like
and not be on
that
your
kind of
system.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the number one reason this happened. The other reason I think it might be just as valid is the fact that the way that Larian went about handling the situation with Xbox. They didn't crap on the system. They're not like a lot of these other developers. They come out and talk about how the Series S is just a weak potato and we can't develop for it, and you know it's got these shortcomings. And Larian didn't do that. Larian came out and said that
We just need more time. We just need, we know,
we
we
just need
got
more time.
we got to prioritize some things, and
Yep.
we'll get it done.
And guess what? And they came to them and said, okay, we're going to send the troops to you. It still takes more time. And Phil was like, okay, screw it. We're gonna make this exception in it. And this is a good thing, because if they're willing to make an exception like this for this, that lets you know that they can make these exceptions all the time until we can get to a point where that system doesn't become an issue
think
anymore.
the reason why they publicly spoke on it the way they did is because they don't want this to become a trend.
Exactly.
They don't want developers going, oh shoot, they ain't gotta finish that. Hey, look, we got a couple of things here that we don't want to try to optimize on that Series S. How about, oh no, shut up. Get back to work. Okay, all right. See, they said they phrase it as, oh, it's not excluding content. You still can play the game, you know, in network co-op, you know, online co-op. You still have co-op available, just not a particular mode. You know, it's still, you're still getting the same content as far as they're concerned. So therefore, the Xbox Series S and X, in their mind, is still having content parity.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be their way of trying to make sure that like other developers aren't doing the same thing.
So last thing on this topic, when do you think the release date is going to be? Shout out to Around him. He says we got to see the release date of this game, because I think they say October. I think the game was ready to go. I don't think the game was ready to go because they still had like testing they had to do around the whole split screen thing. So I think they were trying to figure that part out before they were ready to like officially finish the game on that system. But when do you think we're actually going to see it? We only got 3 months left after this month.
I'll say probably November. I'd say probably November, like early November. It'll come through.
I think that would be a good. I think that would be a good month. Part of me almost thought that it probably was in the best interest for the game not to release on Xbox in September anyway, with Starfield literally releasing the same day.
Yeah, it would have been a difficult time for them to, even though it's probably different. It like
different
RPG,
audiences.
Yeah, RPG. Like people look at RPGs as all the same, but it's very vast audiences, and some people like certain subgenres in RPG, and some don't. So you would have had the people that would have definitely indulged in this instead of Starfield, and vice versa. But I think Starfield would probably end up having more attention.
Right. Cool. Well.
So yeah, it works out.
Yeah, it definitely works out. Cool. Shout out to the 32 people that we have here. Shout out to Dragonheart Yobi with the 10 months of a member of being with the DPS podcast. Really appreciate. Shout out to you, bro. And if you want to become a member of the DPS, make sure you hit that join button. You can do it on this channel. You can do it on Slow Mo for the low dollar. I believe of $1, maybe $2. Can't remember exactly what it was, but definitely really
same amount you pay for Game Pass for 3 years, $1.
Basically, yes. We're giving you weekly content that's different every week. You don't even have to wait a whole month for a whole new slate of games to come. But with that being said, let's move over to the next topic: PlayStation Portable, and they also announced some new accessories that they talked about during it. Now, the thing I want to ask you, Slow Mo, the fact that they called this thing PlayStation Portal, which is almost the acronym of the infamous PSP. Do you feel like it's a disrespect to the PSP to call this that, or do you think this?
Oh, absolutely, it's disrespect. This is a garbage product. This is, I can't. it's just look, it ain't for me. Let me not like there are people out here that are like, oh, I think that's interesting. I see a value in that, and that's fine. You could, if you want to be sitting on the can and 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 you want to use this while the keep playing your game or whatever, go, more power to you. I ain't got a problem with that. If you want to if you want to walk away, or you have your kids on your TV and then still want to play your game, and even though you could do this on your cell phone, but you want it on a bigger screen, cool. I get it. I do get that. A very, very little bit. I get that. But I don't see the value in this for me whatsoever. It's not for me. And then for the fact that it doesn't have Bluetooth, it's just,
I don't know who's this thing for. I mean, I have an idea who is it for.
I think it's for sometimes you make something and you're always going to have at least a little bit of an audience for it. You're always going to have like some people who are going to check it out, or those who just love to collect things. Although I'm pretty sure they want more than that. They want this to be a massively adopted thing, which it probably will sell. Now, granted, although I think it's garbage, it's going to sell. Like we have to be real here. Like
yeah, you're right.
This thing is going to sell out very easily. The DualSense controller is a high selling item all the time, although it is a great controller. The DualSense Edge sold out. I don't know if it's. I wasn't interested in the Edge, so I didn't really. I'm not checking for it to see if it's like widely available. But I remember when it first came out, it sold out immediately. This thing is going to sell out, and yes, it's crap that like they're like, oh well, you have to have a product that has PlayStation Link in order to get sound that isn't the sound coming from your TV, or you could use the earphone jack. It does have an earphone jack. It's old school. Which cell phones used to have that, and I used to love that about cell phones, but they don't have that anymore. So you do have that option, but to not have Bluetooth for these are things that, like, I remember. Didn't the Nintendo Switch launch with no Bluetooth?
Yes, it did.
And we absolutely murdered it for that, right?
We definitely murdered it.
I mean, like, when you have products that launch without like common basic features that you expect from any item that releases in 2023, 2024, then yeah, it's not good. There's just no purpose in damage control in it. That's it. It's gonna sell. Like forget what you heard. It's coming out this holiday too, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, this thing is you gonna be hard pressed to find this. Like they may just sell it. I don't know if they might just sell it in their PlayStation Direct store first, and then kind of do what they did with the PSVR 2, where they sold it on the store, their own store first.
Hardware, yeah.
Right. Now, like they did that with the plates that I can't get. Like they sold it on the store first, and then they distributed it to the other third party retailers. Yeah. So they're probably going to sell this in the store first. You're not getting one. Okay. Like let me stop. You might get one if you want it, but you're gonna have to be fast. You're gonna have to be on top of it. Like refresh.
How many people are gonna buy this thing, and when they finally get it, they're gonna realize that this isn't what they thought it is.
That's the other thing I was going to get to. Because I think you're going to get a lot of casuals that's going to be like, oh, they're going to see a commercial for this. They're going to be like, let's go. I got my own PlayStation Switch. And I'm going to play everything on this thing. And they're going to get it. And they're going to be like, oh, I got to keep my PlayStation on. Okay. No, you can leave the house. It's remote play.
You can't leave.
You can play.
Can you really leave the house? Though?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you can leave the house, but
I've played remote play. It wasn't great, but I played remote remote play on my cell phone away from the house before. I used it when I was on vacation one time.
but your
Back
cell
when
phone
I had
has
it.
a internet connection to it all the time because you
Yeah.
have data.
Well, you'll need to be on a
You have to be on a
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
You have
That's
to
what
be
I'm
on a
saying.
Wi-Fi in order to do it. You
Most
can
people
use your
run.
phone as a hotspot in there. Now you have a Wi-Fi.
That's true. How many people actually know that they can do that though? That's the funny thing.
Not many.
Most
Not
people do
many.
not know that your plan has built-in hotspot. And you have access. Now it depends on how much, like it's depending on how much data you have. Like for mine, I got 50 gigs worth of it, but most people might only have 5. But you do have it, and most people don't know that.
Yeah, and it's
Is it?
and yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that because I still see people that I have T-Mobile, and I know T-Mobile tries to get people to get into the
They actually promote it though too. That's why.
yeah, well, they want people to buy like a dongle for Wi-Fi or something like that, or like
Yeah.
distribute. I'm just like, no, I'm good. I
You good?
remember years ago when they would like try to get after people who knew better and be like, if you activate that hotspot on your phone, we're gonna start charging you like like a certain amount per gig or something. I was
gig,
just
yeah.
like.
No,
No,
you're
you're
not.
not.
You are not.
Like, you better cut it out. No, you
You're
won't.
gonna lose a lot of people. You do that.
Right. I mean, like when I go on vacation with the family and I'm driving to wherever, in the car, the kids have got their tablets, they got their iPads, they got their, like I just take my work phone, turn it, turn the hotspot, mobile hotspot on, and now their tablets all have connectivity to something. So yeah, I do that stuff all the time, man. Like it's you can definitely use remote play outside the house. You don't have to be like up under your PlayStation 5 for it to work. Now, I know they're working on their infrastructure and trying to improve things like this. The last time I used remote play, I could barely play Until Dawn on it. So
That game isn't really.
yeah.
You
So
really
it's
have to do too much in that game.
right. So I don't know where it's at right now. I'm not going to pretend like I know it's absolutely terrible, this moment. But that was definitely a few years ago, I think. So it's been a minute. And I just it's I don't know how good it is right now, but we'll, hopefully if you're gonna make something like this, it better be in a good place. That's the only way this device is usable. It's through remote play, so it better be good.
Roger said, "Let's be real here. Sony had a warehouse full of 1080p LCD screens, and they had to repurpose them. All those, you silly bro." Gregor said he beat Witch Queen through remote play. Shout out to you, bro. Listen, man. Some people are gonna buy this. I just worry how many people are gonna buy it and they realize after they buy it that this isn't what I thought it was. So that's the biggest thing. But cool, it's a cool piece of tech. A lot of people are. I mean, it's a beautiful looking handheld. That's the thing I really like about. I
You
like
like
the
the
way it
design?
looks.
I don't like the design at all.
Well, I don't like the way the controller handles are. I mean, all they did was break.
That's
What I don't like.
It looks like it will break easily.
Exactly. That's what I don't like about it. But,
that's why I don't like it.
But if you look at it as just like how it looks sleek, it looks like
the screen looks good. The screen
That's
looks
what it
good.
is, because it's all screen. But the way I just don't like the way the controllers is literally just a dual sense broken half without the touchpad in the middle. That's basically all this is. But that's cool. Shout out to Erodimus with 14 months of being in the top 1% of the DPS podcast. He says if you sub, Slow-Mo will play Pigeon Sim when it drops.
That is a lie. If you want me to played Pigeon Simulator, y'all know what y'all gotta do. Y'all know which membership class y'all need to sub to make that happen.
I didn't
You
even know
do
there was
that,
a such
you
thing
get
called
5
Pigeon
hours
Simulator.
of me playing Pigeon
Is that a
Simulator.
real game?
It's a real game. It's a pigeon pooping on people as his weapon, and it looks absolutely ridiculous. It
I
looks
didn't
like
even know. I didn't know that was a real thing, bro.
it looked like somebody made that game in 5 seconds.
Oh man, that's crazy.
But no, yeah. I am getting those earbuds though. Those earbuds, those PlayStation earbuds, those
Yo,
will be mine.
yeah. Let me. Yeah. Speaking of which,
I am a earbuds
I am too.
whore. And why is your gameplay skipping like that? What was um
I don't know.
yeah, I buy so many earbuds, and it doesn't even matter how much they cost, honestly. Like most of them
It
are like
doesn't.
most of the really good
And they
quality,
come
like
in
the
a nice
best
looking
ones.
case.
Yeah, the case is sweet.
It
But
slides open and stuff.
I
It is
mean
nice.
that you could connect that to I could probably connect it to PC, my PC. I could connect it to my PS5. I connect it to my phone. I just oh boy.
Look at it, man. Those things are beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a
those
nice
are gonna be
looking.
mine.
That's a nice looking case. Yeah, I did. We talked about that before when we said the
Yeah, it's gonna be
of
mine.
all the accessories they showed, the earbuds was the best.
And watch that be the one I can't like. It's gonna be like everyone's gonna be jumping on those, and it's gonna
Because
be
those are
so
the ones
sold
that
out.
you would. Those are like you would think a lot of people will use those. Like I could see myself even using those instead of like when I'm doing like the podcast and stuff. I'll just put those in and sync them to my PC through Bluetooth and use those instead of headphones like this. And they're Sony branded, so we know they're gonna sound good. How much you
Right.
think they're gonna cost though? 150
No, I think they already said
or
they're 200.
129?
They're
The two
200. I
so
think
they're
those are 200.
so they're
Yeah.
the same price as the
It's
handheld.
either 150 or 200. I think I saw on the blog it said 200. Regardless, like that's fine.
Does that
If
bode
if
well for
they're
the
hold on.
handheld if they're the same price?
Well, they couldn't due to the limitations of the portal, they couldn't price that too much higher than say your DualSense Edge. But the earbuds, that's a price appropriate for earbuds
I'm with you.
because yeah, like my Jabra Elites
Look
are
at
like
you.
one of the best earbuds out there. Those were 200. Um I have Samsung Galaxy, the Galaxy Pro buds. Those are 200. Were at 200. I don't know what they cost now, but usually like in earbuds quality, high quality earbuds are in the range of 150 to 200. So that's priced appropriately. Give me a
Yeah.
second because my daughter's here.
Yeah. Cool. Shout out to everybody in the chat. So let's see. Not Erodimus. Gregor said I got $50 headphones that are on sale for 20 and they outperform most $100 ones. Miles says earbuds that are 200 are $200. Headset says 150. I had a JBL Live Pro 2, says the Sly Crow. They fit so good for me. Oh man. Gotta love. I mean, I use a bunch of different ones. I have a pair of Beats earplugs. I have my AirPod Pros. Jesus Christ. I have those. And then I have a couple of in-ear like the ones that like the sports ones. I have the HyperX ones. They actually sound really good. They sound actually really, really good. I'm shocked how good those actually sound. And they're Bluetooth too. So there's a lot of different competition out there when it comes to headphones. I'm a headphone nut, so Arcade says all the headphone ballers in here. I'm using Turtle Beast Recon 700s. Shout out to the human listening that you have on those headphones. Is that like your fifth pair of those though? Because Turtle Beast don't really got the best build quality. Like most people I know, and maybe not the 700s. I see a lot of 600s come in broke. If you would have said Recon 70s, I would have been like, take them back now before they break on you. Gregor says my gaming headphones are Sennheisers. game ones. I hope Sony buying Eddies means they will make some that connect to the console easier, because their cans are usually over 100 millimeter cans and are amazing. And that's a lot of people be sleeping on that. Sennheiser coming into the gaming scene with them, just being able to get bigger and more surface area on your cans, that just helps with sound quality so much more. I know a lot of people
Hey,
just
Forte,
like
I'm
using
back.
reference ones. You back? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people like using reference, so that's another thing. But go ahead, Slomo.
Question for you. Are, is this like a bloopers thing with your gameplay?
Is it?
You don't.
It is a blooper. I'm glad you caught it. Good job, Slomo. Glad you caught that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone has seen that's been the same
You
3
never seen
second
you
clip.
never seen the elevator scene before? Man, look at
Y'all,
this.
y'all see, y'all see what I have to deal with all the
Well, I was
time.
reading the chat. They got a lot of issues, but it works. Yeah, shout out. That definitely works. So, what kind of headphones are you using right now?
uh, you
Are you using
mean
the LSs that I sent you?
no, those are on my Xbox. I'm using Astro A40s right now.
Got you. Ooh, A40s. Look at you, all fan.
These are old. These are super
Well,
old.
all A40s at this point are old, unless you got the TRX ones. Let's move over to the next topic. We got DLSS 3.5 coming to RTX 20 and 30 series graphics cards this fall. Slow-mo. This was something that was only on newer stuff, and the fact that they're pushing it back, giving it backwards compatibility, going to definitely make a lot of those people that felt like they didn't want to upgrade the new features for your older graphics cards. Especially, I'm shocked it's going back to the 20 series, but they're pretty much doing all RTX cards, which I guess is a great thing. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about
Well,
DLSS going backwards?
it's still not frame generation.
Right.
So
Well, that's
that's
exclusive to the
still
40.
right. This is I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it quite yet. Just because I don't know what it's going to look like. It's supposed to be for, ray tracing and path tracing. And I think they did this because they recognize that as path tracing becomes more of a thing, it's going to be even more demanding than ray tracing is, and we still honestly don't have hardware that can really handle ray tracing.
No, we don't.
So if you think like what's the purpose of a developer implementing this stuff in your games when so few people will actually take advantage of it, and if they do take advantage of it, they gotta use uh an upscaler on performance mode in order to get a playable frame rate, and then it's just that just really impacts things worse. So one question I do have though is that now we have, when it comes to NVIDIA, you've got DLSS 2.0, which I think they're up to like 2.3,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty good. I mean, it works. It does what it can, but it's not going to
It does what it can.
like I don't use anything but DLSS quality mode. If I go down to have to go down to balance, I would rather just optimize the settings myself than
Yourself,
turn
yeah.
on balance. I'm not touching performance mode because it's just hideous. Because it makes the game look like DLSS 1.0, which was like just smear some Vaseline all over your screen if you want. Or just have via FSR. It's essentially FSR. But my concern is that when you got DLSS 2.0 and you got 3.0, which is exclusive for the 4000 series cards, and then you got 3.5, which is supposed to be for ray tracing and path tracing. I wonder if, let's say you have a RTX 2070 Super
Mm-hmm.
and you turn on DLSS 3.5 to go play Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, or Alan Wake 2, which is the 2 games that will be supporting this year. You're playing one of those games, and then you realize that like DLSS 3.5 suffers from the same issues that DLSS did when it first launched. And so although the path tracing is in a playable state, it doesn't look that great, and the performance stinks.
Right.
So what's the purpose? You might as well just go back to 2.0. And so with all these different levels to it, it's just I'm just hoping that if you decide to do a 3.5, that like it should make the 2.0 obsolete. Component thinks FSR 3.0 will impress me. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to speak out against it. I know it's supposed to have frame generation, but until I see AMD actually create an upscaler that's worth a damn, I'm not gonna be checking for it.
Oh man, you're gonna be waiting.
But no, yeah, but I just hope that it's not like, oh well, you know, it made path tracing somewhat playable on older hardware where you can get a 60 FPS, but it's essentially like playing games in DLSS performance mode, where there's a lot of, and for gamers who don't know why I talk down on DLSS performance mode, it looks bad. Like when you look at like reflections, let's say for example you're in Cyberpunk, you're in Night City, and it's nighttime and you're in the city, and there's like the ground is wet or slick with water, and it's supposed to have a accurate, realistic reflection due to the angle that you're looking at it, where it looks like what you expect it to look. What performance mode has and what DLSS 1.0 used to have, where it's like the AI couldn't quite figure out how the reflection is supposed to look, and it keeps changing it. You're not even moving, and it's changing it back and forth. It looks like this flickering or this weird, like it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look. It doesn't look like a reflection. It doesn't look like correct lighting. And it's just, if the game is, if you got to turn that on and it makes the game look ugly, what's the purpose of having it? You might as well just go native.
Right.
So it's just, you know, and just deal with the performance hiccups, or optimize it yourself, which is what I do, and not have those kind of problems. But yeah, so it's we'll see what happens with it. I'm definitely playing Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. I already pre-ordered it, which I almost never pre-order anything.
Yeah, I know. You couldn't wait. Just wait till it released.
Well, they gave it was
what
something.
Did they give you?
Let me go look at it real quick, because there was something. It was a pre-order bonus or something.
What, they got you with the pre-order bonus?
Look, I just wanted it, man. I can't wait to play it, man.
Slow got for the pre-order bonus, y'all. I thought people didn't, you know.
I was going to do it anyway, whether pre-order bonus or not. I was going to do it anyway. Give me a second.
That's funny. Gregor says PCs can't even develop an autocorrect feature that can beat Forte. Shut up.
Right.
I need to do anything. Pixel BG says, I hope the 3090 can enjoy it now, and this performance isn't trash. We shall see. Mitchie says, I'm playing 2027 right now. Pixelbit says, I'm double dipping on Cyberpunk eventually.
Wait a minute, what is this? They it looks like they got pre-order bonuses. They've spread this out pretty.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna play. I am gonna pick up the DLC because I've been waiting for all the content to release for Cyberpunk before I played it, because I refused to play it when they during the time with all the stuff that was going on with the game. So I waited.
The game is awesome now. I actually played it a little bit after I did the pre-order bonus. I just started playing the game. Because I also kind of I know how CDPR is, and I looked at the what they showed during Gamescom, where they showed the way the interface looks now that they're creating like relic powers, and they changed the way the skills are and everything. I am definitely feeling like what they're going to screw something up, or like they're going to tell you to reallocate all your skills or something like that. And so, the reason why I launched the game, because I wanted to go back in and just do screenshots of the way I have my Edge Runner build now, so that if that does happen, I can just plug and play all my build back in that I put together. And then I end up just playing the game for like an hour, just because it looks great. It looks great now, you know. And I played it. I played it 1440p, 60 FPS, with ray tracing on, and then I turned ray tracing off, and then played it in 4K, and still got 60 FPS. And then I just went back to 1440p, turned all the ray tracing off, and played it at like 120 frames per second. It's in such a great playable place now, compared to where way different than where it was back when it first came out. I had a 2070 Super back then on my old PC, but I could barely maintain 60 FPS on PC with the way it played back then. It was terribly unoptimized. I'm trying to look up these pre-order bonuses, because I know they gave me something.
Everybody, the Action Luca is here. Says, yo to everyone just dropping by before bed, hit the like button and tweet out the show. Yeah, definitely do that for us. It really helps out with the engagement and get people up in here. And everybody tell Luca good night, because you know Luca needs her beauty sleep, because she gets. I hear she's real cranky if she don't get at least 12 hours of sleep.
And you hear that from me. I ain't trying to get into nothing. So
Well, listen, Luca like her sleep, man. It may not be 12 hours, but she
okay. I got it. You get a car. You get like it looks like a muscle car, but of course it's like, you know, Night City. This is the future, so it's not. It's a muscle. It's a muscle car. It's the Quadra Sport R7.
Are you ever going to use it?
Vigilante? No, because I got these two. Look, because I want it. All right. So I have a bike that I use that's like got I forgot the name of it, but it's got like all these Japanese like letters all over it, and it's red. It's awesome. And I use this one other car. I actually bought a second of the same car just cause. And they're different colors, but I forgot the name of the car. But that car is fast. I got those, and it's that's all I need.
I like how you said, but that car's fast.
Yeah, but so you get a car for pre-ordering it. I mean, it's look, I was guaranteed. It's day one guaranteed for me, so it was just like. So
what's the release date on it?
It's September 26th. Is that?
Are you gonna be done playing
Starfield? The 25th. 25th.
Are you gonna be done with Starfield by then?
I might be done with Starfield in a few days. You know, I'm not a big Bethesda guy.
Yeah,
so
but
it's like,
you weren't a big Souls person until you got in there and was like, man, this is good.
But look, it depends on the game. Like Elden Ring is an awesome, excellent game, and so yeah, I put like 500 hours into Elden Ring.
I still can't believe you.
I'm not saying Starfield. Look, and check this out. I actually had a little bit of FOMO earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost paid for the early edition to get to play Starfield September 1st. I almost did it. And then I said to myself, I was like, if this is your typical Bethesda game, I'm gonna be mad. Because I paid extra for something that I know I don't really care for.
Right.
At least I'm like, if I just wait till the 6th, I'm just playing it through Game Pass. And so I instead of spending the money on that, that's why I spent the money on the Phantom Liberty DLC. So
okay, cool. That sounds good. So
yeah, I will be, hearing your thoughts on the first, and then and it's, I'm not even really worried about the show either, because it's like from the day that everyone else starts playing it until when it actually starts to allow like the regular actual release to come out, it'll be in between shows. So we'll still be giving feedback at the same time on DPS anyway. So I'm not concerned about that either. So it's
Yeah.
fine.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. It comes out on yeah, that's right. Because it comes out on yeah, that's right. Forget it releases on a Wednesday this week. That week, the full release is a Wednesday, and then the early access is on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well, shout out to everybody in chat for wishing the amazing Asha Luca good night and telling her we love her, and she says she loves y'all too.
Also, I got a shout
What's
out.
that?
Hold
What's
on.
that?
I got a game code to give out.
Woo! Can I get into this?
No.
What's the code? What's the game?
Shout out to DL Colon who provided it's Lost Eidolons, it's like a strategy RPG.
Oh, okay.
It released on consoles I think this week. It's been out on PC for like a year, but it released on consoles this week. And if you know you guys want the game, you have to play the game. I
Like the way
play
you
the
say,
game.
if you want the game, you gotta play the game. Oh,
No.
that sound
I
like
mean, look,
that sound like
we
does that sound like Triple H, y'all?
yeah, it did.
Time to play the game.
Uh,
Whoa!
I hated that walk-in music. I also hated how like he used to spit on like the whole first row.
No,
He was
yeah, it's waiting to see if it catches it over here. This recording.
I'm telling everybody to hit refresh.
There it is. Yeah, it says we're live.
That's crazy, man. So look, this is what we were saying. Because you spelled everything correctly, you opened up a portal to a hell dimension, and it killed your power.
Because I spelled everything correctly today. Shut up. Well.
Oh,
at least we don't have to make a completely different stream because this one is still going. Yeah, power flickered like 4 or 5 times, and like Slow-Mo said, usually when stuff like that happens, it's a really good chance that your electronics would take a crap. And thank God for the power supplies and stuff. It didn't really hit any of my electronics like that. So let's hope we get through the rest of the show without any issues. There's been a lot of rain and thunderstorms and stuff over the last couple of days. Like I want to say yesterday or day before yesterday, we literally didn't have, it was the night before, no power from like what I want to say 1 o'clock in the morning to like 4 in the morning, and internet was down everywhere. It was crazy.
We had issues like that. Remember that one week where I was glad I wasn't hosting because I had nothing but power issues the entire. It was like the week before I went on vacation in June, and I got all my PC parts in, and I was mad because I was trying to build my PC.
Right.
I wanted to build my PC, but I had to wait until after my vacation because it was like we didn't get power back until the day before we left, and I was real concerned. I didn't want to leave to go to South Carolina and not have knowing that like there's no power on in the house and not knowing where that was going to be. But yeah, glad we're back.
Yeah,
we're back.
We're back.
But let's go ahead and speed through these topics before your power drop
decides to go out again. It's gonna go out as soon as the show's over, and it's gonna be like, yeah, you ain't playing no games today. But yeah, moving on to the next one. Epic runs Epic's first run of their new initiative for developers of any size to receive 100% of their game's revenue for the first 6 months.
Now,
Slow-Mo?
this is they have to make their game. I didn't read the full thing, but don't they have to make their game exclusive to the Epic Game Store?
Yeah, it has to be exclusive to the Epic Game Store. And
PC gamers are not liking that.
Yeah, it's got to be exclusive to the Epic Game Store, and the first 6 months of revenue is 100% to the developer. Anything after 6 months will be the typical 88 to 12 split. And this might be
They are
enough.
that's
That's
that
enough to
seems
move the
desperate.
needle.
That seems really desperate on their part to try because we see they've been very like pro developer
Mhm.
and like Steam still does the 70-30 split. They did 88-12. Steam was like, we don't care.
We don't care.
They give out like
Free.
3 free games a week. People get the free games, still don't buy their games on Epic. Epic really is kind of like, and just keep it real. It's that a horrible as bad of a story that it used to be, but Epic is like it's like it's just the Fortnite launcher.
That's
That's
all it is, really.
that's what people really have Epic for. They have it for Fortnite. Now I also have. Let me double check what I have.
I have Borderlands 3 over there.
I own Borderlands 3 over there because it was exclusive, but then I also own it on Steam. So I bought it on Steam when it came out on Steam. Well, I mean, not immediately. It was like on sale. And then like I played through it again on Steam. But I have when Rogue Company first came out, I got it was exclusive to the Epic store. So I played it on there. I still play it on there just because when Rogue Company finally came to Steam, the build was broken and I just uninstalled it and then reinstalled it on
Just kept playing
Epic.
it over there, yeah.
Yeah, you just never look back. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's something else I have installed. I need to double check, but it's probably a free game. But yeah, I don't buy anything on Epic. I have GTA 5 on PC because it was free on Epic. I got a lot of games free on Epic. And then the only time I ever really bought games on there is due to they being timed exclusive. I don't mind. And like I don't wait for games if I want the game. So Control was timed exclusive to Epic. I own Control on Epic. Yeah, if this turns out to be where, developers or publishers start taking that bag to get that 100% revenue, all right, well, it's going to work. It's going to work on me. It won't work on the majority of PC gamers.
No, it won't.
Because PC gamers are very we always talk about if you as a community like stand up for what you believe in, then you can like influence the way these publishers try to screw us over. It really be the PC gamers that really can do that though. Like the PC gamers be like, we don't rock with you. We're not buying these games over here. Like the vast majority of them will not do it. Like you don't want to piss them off because you're not gonna make any money if you do.
I just realized that Homeworld 3's Homeworld 3 Desert Carrick is free on Epic right now. Which is a good lead into Homeworld 3. Shout out to our homie that finally announced that that's the game that he is doing voice acting in with the great Patrick Gallagher. That's, shout out to him. He was on we did an interview with him on the channel a couple months ago, but that's where that came from.
So is Homeworld 3 exclusive to Epic as well?
No, that's on Steam too.
All right, well, I'm getting it on Steam. I'll be buying that on Steam. But
I gotta buy it because I gotta support.
The Expanse, a Telltale series, is exclusive to Epic. And I knew there was a game that I had that was like recent game that I was playing that wasn't just Rogue Company.
Oh, so the Expanse is limited to the Epic Store only?
Yeah, exclusive? For now. It's probably a 6 months thing. But they took the bag, they took that Epic money. Epic is very, very free with that exclusive bag. So
I mean, you see 100% revenue coming up for people. So
yeah, now
that's in 6 months. 6 months.
Telltale probably now this. I don't know if they already started this or not.
They probably did behind the scenes.
Yeah, because Telltale, because like I think isn't another caveat to this that you gotta use the Unreal Engine.
Yes.
Which is, most majority of developers are using it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the Telltale is using Unreal Engine for the Expanse. So yeah, they're probably getting 100% of all the revenue off that game at this point.
Yeah, I'm about
It wouldn't
to.
surprise me.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. It is. Where is it at? I just think that it's really, really, really cool to see developers. You know, Epic's just try. It's just like Game Pass. Like even we'll talk about during Phil Spencer's interview where he talked about, you know, people bringing games to Game Pass and why they do the things what they do. Epic's doing the same thing. They're just doing it by helping developers get more of their money up front versus really giving it to the consumer side of it. I mean, they do a lot of consumer facing stuff too. They give you the. I
Well,
mean,
their ultimate
I'm always
goal
getting.
is to carve out a legit percentage of the market share on the PC storefront market, and
Mm-hmm.
Steam's got it on lock. I mean, GOG does okay, and
Yeah,
people
GOG
respect
does.
GOG, so GOG's all
Look at
right.
it's DRM free. That's why.
Yeah. Xbox is just people only if people do get anything from the Microsoft store, it's because of Game Pass.
Okay,
And
here we
that's
go.
growing. And that's
All
growing. But
right.
what's up?
This is what they had to say. So, Epic's first run program allows developers of any size to claim 100% revenue if they agree to make their games exclusive to the Epic Game Store for 6 months. After 6 months are up, the games will revert to a standard Epic Game Store revenue split of 88 for the developer, 12 for Epic. Epic says all new games and apps are eligible for the program as long as they are released on or after October 16th and haven't been previously released on another third-party PC store. Publishers and developers will still be able to purchase products on their own store or launcher and can use the Epic Store Store's keyless redemption program to sell the Epic Game Store version of other games like Green Man Gaming and Humble Bundle. The announcement is seemingly designed to make more games exclusive to the Epic Store and make them unavailable on competitors' platforms, most notably Valve's. Participating products in the Epic First Run will be presented to those users in store with the new exclusive badging homepage plate and dedicated collection, says Epic. In addition, products will be featured on a relevant store campaign, including sales, events, editorials, and the applicable. Once a product joins the program, it will benefit from continued exposure through its Epic First Run. Okay, so yeah, you don't have
the
to.
Expanse is not in that because it has to be a game that
Yeah.
launches and whatever that date was in October or after. So it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
the
can't be
Expanse
that
came out
one.
already.
And it doesn't look like you have to use the Unreal launcher. You just have to. Your game just cannot have launched on a third party site already, and it has to be 6 months exclusive to the Epic Store. Or you can
Yeah.
sell it on your own store. You can sell it on your own store. You just can't sell it like on Steam or Origin, or why would you sell it on Uplay? Why? Why? So, I mean, good move. I mean, listen, competition means everything. Steam is a behemoth. It's kind of hard to believe that all these years ago, Xbox actually had the option or the availability to purchase Steam, and they just never got back to. They just never got back to Gabe Newell about it, and Gabe was like, "Forget it. I'm just gonna keep it." But it's interesting, but it's all competition, Slow-Mo, and that's all we really want. And now, is this really benefiting gamers at this point? Not
Yeah.
really. Well, not well to the point. Yeah, it's giving it's
Well,
benefiting
it's
developers more than anything, but it's going to make Steam compete in a different way. Hopefully, this moves the needle, because if it moves the needle, Steam's going to have to do something, because they don't want to just hemorrhage players, especially if all these
games on the all I care about is performance and
right.
getting games that I want for a cheaper price. And a lot of times Epic be out here dropping $10 coupons out of
Yep,
nowhere.
they do.
Every time I've bought anything on Epic, for some reason there's been a $10 coupon.
Yeah.
When Final Fantasy VII Remake came out on PC
Mm-hmm.
and Square Enix must have fell on their head and had a concussion because they decided they was going to launch it at $70. And everybody was like, they are their mind. And they took the Epic exclusive bag. But what did Epic do? As soon as that game launched, hey, we're just, doing a promotion. $10 off of anything that's more than $15 in the store right now. The same day Final Fantasy VII Remake launches, you know what you was doing.
You knew what you was doing. And guess what?
You knew PC gamers was going to buy that game at $70. So you went on ahead and made sure it was $60.
I did too.
I mean, when I bought the Expanse, that was I had a $10 coupon for that too. So look, they're always doing things like that because they want people to start buying their games there. Which, as all I care about is performance. I don't have this whole I don't give a crap about their business practices. That stuff don't affect me. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with games that play through the Epic Game Store. Nothing. They play no differently than the games that you launch through Steam. People just don't like, there isn't a message board, discussion board. There's not a community tab. There isn't all this other stuff for each individual game. I don't give a crap. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care about talking to y'all. Y'all toxic in all these message boards anyway, and the reviews are good. I admit that the reviews are very good, and they're very honest, and I appreciate that, but I don't care. I do not care. So that's it. If I can get it cheaper on Epic, that's where I'm gonna go.
I'm with you, 100% with you. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got PC Game Pass coming to NVIDIA GeForce Now streaming service this week. This is an announcement that NVIDIA put out earlier this week. I want to say Monday or Tuesday.
Your game audio is playing. I don't understand.
Why is it playing?
Because you unmuted it. That's why it's playing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't even have the game audio thing in that other window. That's why. Okay, that's why. So yeah, they announced it earlier this week, Monday or Tuesday. Basically, slow-mo.
The amount of editing I'm gonna have to do to get this up on.
It's one thing you'll have to do. One thing. Just all you.
No, it's not. It's multiple things. I gotta edit out the intro. I gotta edit out the long break. The power issue is natural fault. But I gotta edit out the part where there's silence because there's no stream. Now I gotta edit out all the gunfire and everything because you didn't mute the shit.
You know what, slow-mo? I'm gonna do a favor for you. I'm gonna do this one for you. You just rolled your eyes, didn't you?
Yeah, because you're not uploading it to Anchor.
You just rolled your eyes. He's like, man, whatever.
You're not doing
now I gotta prove slow-mo wrong and do it so he could not complain about having to edit the audio for this video. But Slow-mo, what do you think about well, you played GeForce Now. I've never played on GeForce Now ever.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Never experienced it. Don't feel like paying for streaming. I already have too many subscription services as it is. Tell me, is this what does this mean for Game Pass, and what do you think about it in GeForce Now?
For Game Pass, this is good for Game Pass. It's a minor W because it's growing on PC. PC Game Pass is growing, but this is more of a W for GeForce Now than Game Pass because GeForce Now is getting even more games in its store. GeForce Now prior to this only had like 900 games, and now it's got it's got other games that through Steam that have been more and more coming over. It's up to about like close to 1,700 games in GeForce Now available now.
Mm-hmm.
But a significant portion of those games are also from will be from Game Pass. I thought and maybe they explained this and I just didn't realize it, but when they said that, PC Game Pass was coming to GeForce Now, I literally thought all the games that are in PC Game Pass that you have available would be available in GeForce Now. I tested it today because today is the day it actually was supposed to go live. Now maybe they're like slowly moving games through.
Mhm.
But there's only like a handful of games in there right now from PC Game Pass. There's like there's one of the Shadowrun games is in there, Gears 5, Grounded. I'm trying to think of all the one. It was Grounded.
You should play that.
I've played Grounded already.
I know you should play it again. I want to hear you scream when the ladybug comes up to you.
See, that's not gonna happen. What else? What else? It wasn't a lot of games that I wanted to play that were available. There were
What are you actually playing GeForce Now through?
we mean what actual device am I using?
Yeah, what device are you using?
I use a laptop.
Okay, you use a laptop.
A really old laptop that doesn't have, like, it's not a gaming laptop. It doesn't have a APU that can actually run games. It's a old piece of crap. Yeah.
You just found the most garbage thing that you used to use for work like 12 years ago, and it works.
Yes, because the hardware is now running off of the laptop. It's cloud, so it works. But no, I played Gears 5 just to test it out, see how it was. Unusually, and I don't know why this was the case, I gave them some feedback because I'm not quite certain why this was the case, but I did have unusually high latency for Gears 5. I normally don't deal with that, especially when I'm playing at home with my 1 gig up and down internet with Verizon Fios. I knew my internet wasn't the issue, but it did run at 4K max settings, and it was like averaging like 150 to 175 frames per second. So, I mean, Gears 5 is a little old, but still, it's amazing looking. It looks great, right? Like the Coalition is in their bag with the Unreal Engine, so it looks amazing. But it was just a little bit. It was still playable, but not where I'm a shooter head. So for me, it needs to be better than that. So I gave them some feedback on that, but I didn't play too much that was there because there wasn't a lot there. And out of their first party games, I think it was just Grounded in Gears 5. Okay. I don't. Wait. No.
I think Halo would be there.
Halo wasn't there. That's the one I really wanted to play Halo Infinite on it. That's what I wanted to do. But no, they had Bethesda games in there too. They had but it's not it was 2 Bethesda games. It was Wolfenstein 2 and Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Wolfenstein 2 would have been a good one.
Yeah. Wolfenstein
so you don't have access
Wolfenstein Youngblood, not so much. I probably should have tested one of those as well, but I didn't really have a lot of time because I was working on my video.
So is Halo not available through Steam on there?
No, it's not.
Yeah, I ain't think. Okay,
wait, we know. No, it's not, because it's weird, right? I don't know why Halo Infinite isn't, because Halo Infinite is on all the Xbox first party games are on Steam.
Yeah, now, all on there.
If you buy the game on Steam, it's there. That's been like that for a while. So if you bought Sea of Thieves,
you
or
never bought the Halo on there, did you?
No.
It's free to play, so you just play the free to play version of
right.
Steam.
Right. When I had it on Steam, I was just playing the multiplayer that's free.
So, yeah.
Even though I have it installed through the Microsoft Store now on my PC, but it was mostly just because when I was playing the campaign.
The campaign, yeah.
So for some reason, free games, I guess I don't know why the free multiplayer version of Halo Infinite just isn't in GeForce Now. It's not. But
right.
If you buy a game, if you bought Forza Horizon 5, on Steam. It likely would be there. I don't know for certain because I don't own that on Steam. I played it through uh um the Microsoft Store and Game Pass, but it's just not a lot of the games on Game Pass are in there yet. And I expect that there probably will just add more games as time goes on. But I was just like, for them to only have like a dozen games in there, and likely not the most popular games that are in Game Pass right now, I just thought that was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's the thing though. I mean, part of me wants to get because they have a free option, but I heard a free option is like don't even do it. Isn't it like 720p streaming or something like that?
For what, xCloud?
No, for GeForce Now.
What you mean, the base level,
Yeah,
the free version? Yeah, it's
yeah,
like 720p 60. Yeah, it's
and you
and then
get
you don't even you're not even guaranteed a spot, like
yeah
a system in the cloud that actually
worth the
play
dang.
off of. Yeah, you're not even guaranteed that. Like, it's not, the free version isn't worth it.
Yeah, and it's
I
ten
do
dollars
think
for the next
the
one.
$10 middle tier
Is that the
pretty decent.
3090 or is that the 3080?
They've never no, the 3080. Okay, I'll explain how it works. But
Yeah.
the middle tier is for $10. They don't tell you which GPU that you're accessing in the cloud,
Mm-hmm.
but you're getting 1080p 60.
Oh, okay.
So you don't really need a 3080.
So basically, whatever gets you to that number is all they're going to give you.
Right.
Right.
And which, the reason why I said I want it, like, even though I did the Ultimate, GeForce Ultimate, just to really see what it was capable of, more of an experiment, but I really didn't need the Ultimate version. I could have gone with the $10 version and been fine, because I was playing, as I said, on a laptop that has a 1080p screen, 60 hertz screen on the laptop. I
Right.
had a every now and then I did hook it up to one of the TVs that was in the Airbnb, which was also another 60 hertz screen, and I also got a portable LED now that I took with me on the last vacation, and that one is 60 hertz as well. It's 1080p 60 hertz. So yeah, I could have did, while I was away, I could have did 1080p 60 no problem, and it would have been just fine. But I wanted to see, like, really, like, what what the performance would be like. And so the ultimate is where you get, it's $20 a month, and if there is enough free space for it, you'll get a 4080. If they have too much capacity for 4080, they'll give you you're guaranteed at least a 3080.
Okay.
So
That's
that's
still
how it
really
works.
good.
Now, only one time in all my time using GeForce Now since June have I ever been forced to use a 3080.
Really. And it tells you
I've
what you're
had 40.
using too, doesn't it?
Yes, it'll tell you what you're using.
That's cool.
And even if you didn't catch that they were telling you what you were using, you could just, like, it's the PC version of all these games. You can just go into the settings, and the settings will tell you which GPU you're on. So in the game, in those games, so
Okay.
you can figure out what you're using. But yeah, it is it's very good. It's the
Ooh.
best cloud service that's out there. So
So
it's smart for them to put their games in there.
speaking of cloud gaming, nice segue. Xbox's battle with the CMA leads to the divestment of cloud game streaming to Ubisoft for 15 years when it comes to the Activision Blizzard acquisition.
Yeah, emphasis on cloud gaming, because there's been a
Cloud
lot of
gaming, not
confusion
everything.
and people thinking, like, oh, now like their games are going to be natively everywhere. No, this is Ubisoft is in charge of the distribution of their Activision Blizzard King games in cloud.
In
That's
cloud.
it. So now what this does mean that potentially because Ubisoft Plus Classics is on PlayStation, which more than likely that will get upgraded to regular Ubisoft Plus. But that does mean that, say, when Blizzard survival game comes out in, say, 2026, 2027, whenever, that you may be able to play that game on PlayStation through PlayStation Plus, which also has Ubisoft Plus, or just subscribing to Ubisoft Plus and playing it that way. But you're not going to get it native. Like, if you recall, remember when before they merged PS Now and PS Plus, the way PS Now was, and remember how like you had some games that were you could actually install that game and you would just play it, and then you had some games where you had to stream it.
You had to stream them, like
because they were the PS3 games.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to be looking at. Like if this Blizzard survival game, this Blizzard survival game comes out, or Overwatch 3 comes out, which will probably only be Overwatch 2 technically,
Right.
or Diablo 5 comes out, you're going to be able to access it through cloud, but not natively. And hey, maybe cloud gaming will advance far enough where it's the experience ain't that bad.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're gonna have to market their own games, their own ABK games, as play it natively on here, play it natively on Xbox and PC, and I do think that now that if this goes through, if this divestiture goes through, this is just my opinion, I think they're going to start focusing more on mobile and PC in the future.
Yeah, the funny thing is they don't even they have to get the licensing rights from Ubisoft to stream these games on an Xbox. After this, we already know in the background that's already going to probably be built into the whatever deal they're going to have. Like, listen, you have control to put these games wherever you want when it comes to streaming on your side, but they'll definitely be on Xbox.
Let me tell you who gets a massive W out of this: Ubisoft.
Ubisoft gets a massive W out of this, bro. Ain't nobody been looking for Ubisoft for this.
It wasn't that long ago where Ubisoft was looking at, like, people was wondering Ubisoft was even going to be around in a few years. Their CEO, Yves Guillemot, out here giving the worst pep talk, pump up speeches to his team, like, hey, if we don't make it, it's on you. Like, right, it's just like, and getting the bag from Tencent, not to divest into the company, but Tencent investing in the firm that the Guillemot family owns, and that firm has the highest shares in Ubisoft. To me, that's more of, hey, we're good. The rest of you got we got a parachute in case this thing don't go right, So out of all of that and all the pressure they have on massive entertainment with Avatar and the Star Wars game to really hit and do well, and the next Assassin's Creed game, them being in the very precarious position that they were in, now you have Microsoft as an ally.
Yeah.
Because think about it like this: they're in danger of potentially needing to go bankrupt or having to lay off staff, get rid of studios, trying to survive. Microsoft needs you.
They need you for at least 15 years.
They need you for 15 years to keep divesting this cloud stuff, so that the things they really care about right now, mobile, Call of Duty, the game exclusive games, for that they spent $80 billion on, that stuff. Sorry, 70. They don't want, because like the FTC can come back at any point and be like, oh, this is not now a problem. They did it to Facebook with WhatsApp.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know if the CMA can do that, but if things change in what they have approved, they might be able to bring this back up. And if that's the case, you want to make sure Ubisoft is good, that they are still solid and they're still able to do what they are here for you to do, that you have them doing, which is essentially distributing these games through cloud for the next 15 years. And if that, if it, once upon a time, and I think shout out to the Iron Lords who had Peter Moore on last Sunday. He brought this up. Microsoft actually gave Apple money a long time ago because they needed Apple they needed Apple to stay in business.
Yeah, that's how Safari was built.
Yeah, they needed Safari. Yeah, because they had been done.
They
had Microsoft had done some anti-competitive stuff to get rid of Netscape Navigator, which back in the day was the far and superior browser.
It was,
but
Netscape
was a small company, and they couldn't afford to do a free browser. But Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft could, and so Microsoft dropped their price to the total cost of free $99, and Netscape, couldn't hang. That got them in trouble. They give Apple money. Apple is out, and now Apple's great now, right? But like that created Safari. So what I'm saying is that Microsoft is no stranger to actually giving money to a company they don't even own because it's going to benefit them in other ways. It's no different than say like Sony giving Square Enix money when Square Enix was having cash flow issues, which they always do, but it is what it is. They invested in Square Enix for a little bit. It wouldn't shock me at all. So that's what I'm saying. I think Ubisoft is really going to be okay. Like this gives them a nice little lifeline, a get out of jail free card in case things don't go the way they hope they will. And I think that, I mean, like, kind of undercover, Ubisoft's technology is actually really good. Like, people don't really know. Like,
they be slipping on it.
Yeah, shout out to Die. Deli was telling me about some of their internal tools that they use in game development, and it's stuff that like I had no idea that they were working with stuff like that. The reason why they're able to develop games and get games out so quickly has a lot to do with the tools that they work with, and some of them are cloud based. So it's just don't sleep on them. But yeah, I think this is I think the deal's gonna go through now with this. Me personally, I wouldn't have done it.
Oh really? Okay, that's a good. All right, that's a good thing. All right, so why wouldn't you have done it?
Because I would have told the CMA to kick rocks, and I just would have closed over them. Now, this is me not caring.
You would have pulled all your stuff out of the European market now?
No, I just wouldn't do anything cloud related in the European market. Or if they had a problem with that, then yeah, I wouldn't sell ABK products there.
I think it's more. I agree. If it was just ABK products, or I think that would be fine. But I think that turns into. I think that turns into something Microsoft doesn't want it to be, because then they could turn around and say, we don't want X amount of whatever from Microsoft in the territory.
Yeah, but I understand why they done this, because they don't want to piss the CMA off too much.
No, not too much, especially with all these different moves they're doing. They ain't
right, because they're not done. Exactly, they're not done. They're not done acquiring things. And they don't want to do something where the CMA is just like, it doesn't matter if you try to buy a Sobo, they're gonna be like, screw you, no,
right, something small.
Yeah. So I think that that's why they're doing what they're doing, because they're trying to keep them in their good graces. They probably won't like acquire something like next year, but if they're gonna make another big move, potentially like another publisher, or try to get another publisher. You don't want it to be a situation where, we're guaranteed to not get past this regulator. So we can't make the moves that we want to make. So that's why they're doing this. But me, I don't care about. I if I was them, I wouldn't be trying to acquire anything else. I would just be building up what I already have, and so I wouldn't care about any of that. I would just close over
Yeah,
UK.
that's what a lot of people say because they feel like Microsoft is giving up they're capitulating way too much to the CMA
Shout
for
out to
this deal to go
Erica for
through.
the win in the chat. What's up, Erica?
Oh, shout out to Erica, man. Speaking of which, we need to do that crossover again. We need to come on come over can't talk right now. We need to come over to the show and chill with you and yes.
The
Yes.
backlog ain't she ain't done the backlog in a
Really?
while.
Well, I haven't been looking at what's name.
Hey,
Shut up. I didn't know.
Don't tell me. You need to shut up. Talking about
I thought they haven't done it in a while. You know what?
Erica, you gotta come through. You gotta come through soon.
Yeah, you gotta come through, Erica. We gotta get you to come through. Oh, they stopped the beginning of the year. Dang, that long ago, huh?
Erica, that just shows how much Forte pays attention to your show. I knew this. I knew this. I knew when you stopped because I watched the show.
No,
unlike some people.
Listen, you know what? Now that I think about it, I always because Erica's one of those people that every time she streams, if I see her face on a thumbnail, I always jump in. And now that I think about it, I haven't seen Erica's face on a thumbnail in a while.
Are you so you gonna jump on Press Start next week?
No, that show's been that show's been dead. That show's been dead before. It was dead after Erica left it.
Hey.
No, I won't say that. Shout out to the homies. I'm just messing around.
Hey, now.
I was still a little hurt. I was still a little hurt when Erica left. I was like, I don't care what the heck happened. That was the heart and soul right there, or at least part of it. Oh, she's just been making videos.
She's been making a lot of Souls-ish content.
I did see that because she made Remnant videos. I saw some of her Remnant videos.
Good grief, man! You a wild man tonight. I'm just you are on something tonight.
Hey man, listen, my power went out.
Your OBS skills have been clearly a F tonight, and you just talking recklessly. Like
listen.
Shout out to
Erica.
Crew.
Remnant is awesome. Erica, Remnant is awesome. We love it. I think I got close to 30 hours in that game and about to beat it 3 times in probably the next week. Shout out to Dragonheart Yobi. $5 super chat. Really appreciate you, bro. Dude, the CMA knows that the internet infrastructure is something to laugh at. China can go all cloud and not miss a beat. US is not built for that yet. Please, Slow-mo, when will the US ever be caught up?
Never. Never. Because it's all political now. And they literally put a guy over it's the FCC. Who runs the infrastructure? I think the FCC. They put a guy who used to be a Verizon lobbyist in charge, as if the guy wasn't going to do what you expect a lobbyist for an internet provider to do. He basically undid net neutrality and undid any laws that would have protected us from ISPs basically doing their thing and getting whatever they wanted. We are worse off than we were a decade ago. And these ISPs for years have been lying to the government, saying they were going to build out the infrastructure of this country for internet, wire it for fiber. They're not trying to do that. They come up with excuses all the time, so they can keep getting their tax breaks because they don't pay taxes. And they're going to keep doing that because it doesn't matter which side either.
That's true.
So I don't want people coming after me. It doesn't matter which political party you're a part of. All of them, when it comes to these ISPs, just give them whatever they want. And so it's never going to change. We will get slight improvements on infrastructure, just more out of just like basic necessity. But getting it to the point of where, like, say, like in South Korea, where like the internet's amazing, like you're getting like amazing internet like in subway tunnels and stuff like that, and like Japan and other places. Like we should have internet like that in the majority of the places in this country, and we don't. We don't. Even Europe has better internet than we do. So
Yeah, I mean
it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad over here, man. I mean, and honestly, it really just depends. It's like there's really good hotspots here in America that have really good internet. You know, shout out to Verizon Fios. Shout out to
It should be at this point the internet
infrastructure.
Fast, high speed internet should be a utility. It's like you gotta have water. You gotta have electricity. Like it should be that. It's so essential to society at this point.
But you know, they'll tell you that it's still
yes, I'm a network engineer. Yes, I'm a network engineer. So of course I kind of feel, but still, like regardless, even if I wasn't a network engineer, it's
how long you
that
been unplugged?
important.
How long you been unplugged when it comes to like just traditional like TV and everything, where you have to have the internet to basically have a day-to-day basically.
Wait, you said unplugged.
Yeah, unplugged, like, you know, cut the cable basically.
Oh, from cable?
Yeah.
Well, I have one cable box. And here's
really
look, now we're about to get into something.
Oh my God, you still have a cable box? I thought I would.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. No, I'm gonna tell you why I still have a cable box.
Okay,
because if I told Verizon I didn't want cable anymore, they would double my internet price.
Really?
Yes. This is why they give you everything in bundles.
I know that, but usually
because they don't want they don't want you to ever think there's an actual set price for any of these services.
There are
the price is always variable. So, for example, like back when before all of the apps were a big deal, and everyone still had cable TV before everybody, quote unquote, pulled the plug. I had Verizon Triple Play, which was like the phone, the cable TV, the internet. And of course, the way it all works through the internet. Like your phone is voice over IP. Your cable comes from your internet box. And back then, I used to have like a little box out in my garage. They've changed the infrastructure a little bit, but it is what it is, right? So as I started to get Netflix and this Hulu and all these other, like, the Prime Video, and then like starting noticing my kids don't watch TV no more. Like they don't watch Nick Jr. on cable. They're watching Nick Jr. from the Nick Jr. app. And my wife is on Hulu and Netflix, and she don't use the cable. So I got rid of all the cable boxes but one. And the only one I kept is because I gotta watch my football. And I gotta watch my NBA. I gotta watch my NFL. So I kept the box for that. Then now you just get a great antenna. You can watch it. You can watch your sports very easily, no problem. So I was like, yeah, let me just get rid of this.
Right.
I tried to change. Now, first they told me it was like, well, you gotta wait until your contract's up. Wait till my contract was up. Wait till my contract was up, and then they're like, okay, if you decide to get rid of cable, you're going to end up, my total payment was going to end up being $75 more than what I was paying then.
Dang.
Because they increased the price of phone and they increased the price of internet with no cable. Then I said, well, all right, well, I'm gonna get rid of the phone. I don't even use that anyway. We got cell phones. What do I need a phone for?
Why did you just do League Pass or something, or it's a Sunday Ticket?
It doesn't. No, that's not the point. The point is, it's cheaper for me to keep cable. I have a cable box that I don't even use, and the only reason I have it is because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Internet's cheaper with it than without it. That's the point I'm making.
And Comcast is like they're notorious for raising people's prices, and I think it's like the difference for me having cable and not having cable is like $40. Like I pay $40 less for my package without cable and without internet and security.
And I see people in the chat saying, why didn't you, like, at that point I would just look for an alternate service. Verizon is the best game in town. Not only do they own the backbone in this area, which, like, that's tech talk for, you know, people who understand what I mean when I say on the back. I live in Maryland, Pixel. So they they own the infrastructure in this area. Comcast is there's like duopolies in Maryland and Northern Virginia, where, for example, in Northern Virginia they have Cox Communications, but Cox doesn't come over here to Maryland. Comcast is in parts of Northern Virginia and Maryland. I don't know if they do DC or not, but essentially Verizon is everywhere, and they only have one competitor in the area, in the counties that they are. And sorry, my only other recourse is to go to Comcast, which is no, I refuse.
What's wrong with Comcast?
Stinks. Comcast is terrible. Performance is terrible. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
Because you don't get the upload. That's why.
Bro, I'm getting 1 gigabyte download and upload with Verizon.
I give you the upload part. That's the one thing that Comcast needs to do better.
Right. Almost nobody is doing that. Almost nobody in this country is giving you 1 gig upload.
Yeah, Comcast gives me 40 upload and I get the 1 gig down.
Yeah, I don't have options like that here. Google tried to come through here.
Google tried with
Google Fiber, and they was like, no sir, we not even like, build your own fiber, build your own backbone. You can't use our infrastructure over here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Google was a rat. Yeah, and that's why I deal with Verizon's tomfoolery. I'm paying like $180 a month.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but if I decided that's
to with say cable?
Yeah, that's if I decided to go without the cable, it would go up to like $280.
God. So I would have kept it too.
I just kept it. I just like, you win. You win, Verizon.
I went from I remember with my full package, I had Comcast had their triple play. You get TV, internet, and what was it? TV, internet, and phone. I was paying like $210 or something like that. And then I was like, I need to get rid of the phone. And then it only dropped like $20. So I was like, y'all only value the phone by $20. And then when my contract was up, I was like, I never wanted to cut the cord. I was like, but the more and more I thought about it, I was like, man, I'm about to just start streaming everything. Screw it. And then once they started putting like all the shows, like I watched Undisputed, like with Shannon Sharp and everything. And then I watched like First Take. And then once they like made their YouTube videos and put their segments on YouTube, I was like, oh man, I don't even need that no more. The only thing I was missing out on was TV, like the NFL, like you said. And then I just got League Pass and for NBA, and I got a Sunday Ticket for the NFL. And then I was like, man, my bill, it's $110 now for just internet.
Yeah, and see, look what Nate just said. Google Fiber is the best because their 1 gig plan is only $70.
I know, and that's why
I would look.
Come here.
I would just, if Google Fiber actually made it in this area. They tried to get in this area, and I think Nate was saying like wherever he is, Cox Communications filed an injunction that kept them from coming in. Verizon basically did the same thing, and yeah, so like they just stopped expanding. They stopped trying in this area. But I would have jumped on that because all I need is internet. I don't need I don't need the phone. I don't need the TV. I don't need the cable. So it's just,
well, that's why everybody keeps saying, you have some people fighting the conversation about the overall infrastructure of the country when it comes to internet.
That's why we're even talking about this, because like we're really talking about the fact that what Verizon is doing is anti-competitive.
Is what the problem is.
It
holds everything back.
Like the things that we are afraid of Microsoft doing in the gaming industry is what Verizon is doing out here in these ISP streets. Like
Yeah.
them, and then in other regions of the country, A&T is doing the same thing. Time Warner is doing it in the regions of the country that they have. And it's just it's that's why it's not going to get any better. So yeah, infrastructure wise, you're going to continue. If you live in a rural area, you're going to continue to not be able to like really have cloud gaming as a actual alternative for gaming for you. I mean, I know people who just like they just happy they can just download games. You know, like when it comes to data, they don't really have it
I
like that.
I remember the days of downloading games and they taking like do you remember when you used to be mad when a game was like 40 gigs and it would take like 2 hours to download?
Yeah,
Not
yeah. And look,
anymore.
and damn, forgot what I was about to say, but what happened to the topics?
They disappeared. Hold on. Oh,
You
because I just
like stuff just don't disappear in OBS. Like you actually have to do it yourself.
no. When I changed the when I updated the thumb for the put the strikes through it, it just went away. It didn't come back. Thank you for letting me know, Slomo. Continue.
One day we gonna sit down. We're gonna get your OBS together. We're gonna get your OBS together because good grief. Like I don't have any of these issues.
It
like
happens every
none.
once in a while. Normally I catch it when it happens and you don't see it, but it happens.
It happens all the time.
Oh,
but no, and look, and I see the chats going talking about just internet woes and
because
like
everybody
that's
some woes.
that's the state of the internet in this country, and it's a completely different philosophy than what you would get from Europe and other nations and regions of the world where they look at the internet as an essential thing that everyone should have, like power, like water, like food, internet, essential. And it's not in this country, and it's not going to change anytime soon. If it does change, there's going to be it's going to have to be a lot of different changes in organizations and laws to even get to the point where we could actually start making this stuff work correctly. But it is what it is.
I need Google Fiber. Well, Google Fiber, that's the thing. Google Fiber is still live. People, it's not as a big thing as people remember it. Like when they first announced that it was moving to different cities and stuff. But they're still out there and they're still expanding. It's just a lot slower now because, like Slomo said, they're still fighting all these different regulator battles and stuff. And it should not be this hard to give people better internet.
And also, it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be allowed to just not be able to give a like. You shouldn't be allowed to change your price depending on your whims. Oh, well, internet's $50. Oh, but you want to get rid of that? Okay, now it's $100. Like what? Like how does the price change?
I'm taking less, and you're making me pay more.
Right? You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to lie and say we have 5G and it's not 5G. You don't even have any 5G towers. Yes, I'm talking about you, AT&T. You shouldn't be allowed to do stuff like that. Like that's false advertisement.
Yeah. It is.
But these they get away with murder. They get to do and say whatever the heck they want, and nothing ever happens. So,
well, that was a very nice tirade that we just went on, and the whole chat was with us because that's the one thing that we outside of gaming, the only other thing that we all have in common is internet and how terrible it is in this country and how segmented the price to performance is for some people. Like some people in the chat got really good internet and they're paying a really good price for it. And some of us are, not doing so well. Like I think my internet's fine. I mean, I don't pay as much for it as most people, but I would I probably wouldn't trade for what Slomo has to have an internet box. What is it? What is that called in your house? A cable box? What's that?
A cable box, yes.
What's that? With channels on it that you don't even. When the last time did you even wipe that thing off before? It's got dust on it, don't it?
No, and nothing in my house got done. I clean up around here, man.
You
See, look,
use Pledge. You use Pledge.
look, y'all understand. You have to understand that, like, the whole meme of like it's collecting dust, like I don't use it, is really don't work. It really just means you're dirty because I use all my stuff in my house, and if I didn't clean it up, it would collect dust. Like my PC would collect dust if I didn't like clean, and if I didn't unhook it and then blow dust out of it and then wipe the dust off the top of it, like it would collect dust. You know, like look, no, but it doesn't know the cable box is just there.
It's just there.
It doesn't get used. It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't. When's the last time I turned it on? I don't. I mean, I know I was watching the Commanders in preseason, but I was watching them through just regular TV.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to our last topic. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Really appreciate the back and forth on that. That was cool. Shout out to the 43 people. We recovered. We got all our people back, Slow-Mo.
Yes,
Power
we
outage
did.
didn't hold us down. Last topic, Phil Spencer interview at Gamescom 2023 with Dustin Legary of IGN. Had a lot of stuff he talked about, mid-gen refreshes, talked about the state of what's going on with the ABK deal, talked about Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate. A lot of good information in there. It was only 11 minutes.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's. It's Baldur's Gate, not Boulders. Baldur's.
Okay,
say it with me, Slow-Mo.
You said Boulders.
I said Baldur's Gate. Say it with me, Slow-Mo. Baldur's.
The chat knows better. Continue.
Remember when I had a problem saying series and then you was like, what the fuck did you say? I mean, heck did you say? It was one of those things, like, no matter how much I tried, I always said it wrong. And maybe because I was just speaking fast. But so, Slow-Mo, what was the most interesting thing you took from the conversation that Phil Spencer had with IGN and Dustin Legary during the Gamescom this week?
His thought about the PS5 Pro and Xbox, whether they would do a mid-gen. I don't believe him. I don't believe
this whole thought
that this whole thought that we don't need to. What do you mean you don't need to do? Look, you don't have to drop something when they drop it, but I know they're working on another Xbox.
They are.
So if you drop something a year and a half after the PS5 Pro comes out, like it's not that different, really.
It kind of is.
I don't think so, because it's going to play the same games the Xbox Series consoles play.
Right.
Their GDK game core is designed for a developer to make a game through it and it be able to run on PC, on Xbox Series X, on Xbox One. It's designed for it to be able to allow them to develop that game on multiple different SKUs. They have to optimize it, of course, which is some of what we talked about earlier about Xbox Series S, but they're working on another Xbox. I'm telling you, they are working on. I fully believe it. I don't care what Phil says. Yeah, Phil at one point said, "I don't like to show games too early." Then the very next year, he started showing us games that still ain't come out yet. Games that they didn't show an update to for 3 years later. He is saying what he needs to say in the moment, and frankly, I get it, because this is what I said in my video I did a few weeks ago. At no point would I want to be forced to have to announce something off of unconfirmed rumors.
Yeah.
Sony has not come out and confirmed anything about the PS5 Pro.
That's true.
So why is for another time Phil Spencer has to go say we're not working on something? Because why else would he say anything else? What is he replying to? He will be confirming the existence of new hardware that potentially could be coming out soon in response to nothing. And I'm not saying Tom Henderson is nothing.
That's nothing.
No, I do believe it exists, But Sony ain't said it. Nintendo hasn't even confirmed the existence of hardware that we know it's coming early or sometime next year.
Mm-hmm.
You ask somebody at Nintendo right now, hey, are you dropping new hardware next year? They'd be like, no comment.
No,
What are you talking about?
We believe in
We
the platforms we have on the
we
market.
have a Switch OLED right now that's amazing, and it's not.
It
It's
is
trash hardware, but they will. That's going to be the company line. Why do people expect Phil Spencer to come out here and say, yeah, we got an Xbox Series Z coming? What the freak? Why would he? That'll be an announcement of new hardware. Why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. So of course he's going to keep saying what he's saying, that we're just fine with Xbox Series X and S. Even though more than likely a PS5 Pro would buy the Xbox Series X. It's newer hardware. Of course it will.
Oh yeah.
He knows that. But he's not going to show his hand because Dustin Legary don't work for Sony. Dustin Legary is Game Press getting information. We don't need to know this information. It changes nothing for us. If you're going to buy an Xbox today versus buying an Xbox 2 years from now when they drop something, like, what does that change? Do you want to play Starfield or not? Buy the hardware or shut up. Like, that's it. So you really don't, there's nothing that we need to know right now about any of this. But he's not going to say that publicly. He's just going to be like, we're great with our hardware right now. That Xbox Series X and S is awesome. It runs games fabulously. You know, even though they out here running on 30 frames per second. But that's going to be the company line until it's not. That's going to be the company line until they show new hardware. And they're going to show new hardware within 2 years.
So I do not disagree with you one bit. You made some really, really good points. I've thought about those points before, and I think it ultimately for me, well, going back to what I like the most about, or the thing that I took away the most from, he pretty much just confirmed. When he asked him about mid-gen basically and where Xbox Series X and S are, he pretty much said he feels like this is. I like this answer. It was kind of like a non-answer. He was like, this is like kind of the beginning of the end, the beginning of the end, or the end of the beginning, he said. And I was like, that's an interesting way of looking at it. And he pretty much acknowledged the fact that a lot of people kept trying to poo-poo on the reason we're seeing so many great games come out now is because we're getting further and further away from the dog crap 2020 year that we had where everything was put on hold. So not a lot of the games and a lot of the developers are finally getting a chance to like hit their stride and release the projects that they probably were meant to release 2 years ago or even a year ago. And you're starting to see those games come to fruition now. That's why he even mentioned, I think he said something, there's like 85 games that are releasing over the course of the next 24 hours, like just different types of genres of games and everything. The only thing that I fight against you on, and not even really fight with you on, that's a strong word, but just disagree with, is the fact that I feel like there's no, unless this system is ready, like if PlayStation 5 Pro is 2024 early or 2025, unless they're releasing that thing in the same year, it's almost better to not release. It's almost better at that point just to come out with a next gen for your system. At that point, you're looking at 2025 for the PlayStation.
So question for you. Do you think the Xbox One X was a mistake?
The One X?
Yeah.
No, because I think because it would have been. Well, no, because the Xbox One X was 4 years later. It was within 4 years.
If they come out with a new Xbox SKU 2 years from now, it will be 5 years after the Xbox Series X came out.
Well, they're not going to do it in 2 years, though.
Why not?
Now you're 100%. I will give you that. If they release it in 2025, then this is a good move. But if it doesn't release in 2045 and they're talking about 2026,
I think they will at least announce new Xbox hardware within 2 years. So it'll be 2025.
Well, no, I think they'll.
I
think they'll announce it. Yeah,
June their June showcase 2025. They'll be announcing new hardware. That's my opinion.
But is it coming in 2025?
I don't know about that, but I think they want people to know it's coming. Probably like late 2025
because
or early
I think
2026.
Because at that point, I just feel like you might as well. Because if you're working on it now, that means by the time 2025, 2026, that means 2026, maybe early 2027 or holiday 2027. PlayStation probably is going to hit in 2025 with their system. If we just, just take the lay of the land, it could be 2024. All we know, we don't know, but we'll just be conservative and say 2025 for PlayStation, 26, 27 for Xbox. If it's not 26 for Xbox, I would just wait an extra year and get an even better, because we all know how fast technology moves.
Yeah, but I mean, the longer you wait, you're always going to have either the technology you were going to launch with a cheaper production price, or
True.
The ability to upgrade from where you were going to, with the hardware you were going to launch with, to come with something more powerful. So
are you off cycle at that point? I guess.
You'll
just be off cycle, because I just look at it as the fact that the last time that this happened, they released it the same year for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. They released it the same year for Series X and S and PS5. This would be the first. The PlayStation 4 Pro released a year early, but it really wasn't meant to make the system more powerful.
What's happening on screen right now? What is this?
What is this?
I don't know. You're hosting the show, man. So it's your screen.
Oh, the Gamescom thing just ended. That's what. We've been talking about it that long that Gamescom ended. But the fact that Phil Spencer came out and he said those things, it just feels like they feel like it. If you take him at his word, that's really hard to do. All of these.
How many times has Phil told us this is what the game plan is, and the game plan changed?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's why I can't really argue or fight you on it, because a lot of this can change. I just feel like at a certain point, you just want to release. You don't want to be 2 years behind them on hardware. And if you're going to be 2 years behind them, it just feels like you just come out with an even more powerful system, reset the market completely, instead of it being a half step.
You could be 2 years behind someone and have you could be a year behind someone and have a more powerful system.
I think they'll have a more powerful system, but how much more powerful?
Technically the PS3 was more powerful than the Xbox 360. It was more difficult to develop games on.
Yeah.
But you could come out later, like just a year later, and have a more powerful platform. It's just that it's even if they plan on launching, they're trying to watch Sony. Okay, we're gonna figure out when are they launching that PS5 Pro, because we're gonna launch something right with them. Sony has never confirmed the existence of a PS5 Pro. So
that's the biggest thing that I agree with you on.
But the foundation of my entire logic is that Phil Spencer, even if he's literally got the new Xbox in his house right now, why would he tell you that?
Oh, he wouldn't.
Why would he confirm the existence of anything? In response to what? That's the basics. The basic of my entire logic is nothing has been confirmed, so he's not going to be the first person to do it.
And I was going to make a video about this, and I'm going to have to quote. I might cut this out of the podcast and put it in there, because you made a really, really good point Like I knew that, but hearing you say it, it's like that makes why would he say anything? What it's just like everybody else. It's like we're just gonna let you believe what you want to believe, but we don't have to tell you anything because guess what? It's not officially announced even by our competitor to say that's what they're doing.
Right. And if anything, it puts him at an advantage because
Yeah.
the leak exposed Sony. And for once, there hasn't been a leak that has exposed that Xbox has something on the
I can't
horizon.
believe that's the
So,
one thing I
so,
can't believe. I think that's why people are kind of
yeah,
looking at it like Xbox don't really have something. Well, they told you the year before the X came out that they were already the Series X. They already told you they were working on new hardware already. They always start R&D of new hardware right when they finish production of the
yeah,
previous
they said
hardware.
that. Yes, they said that back in 2020 and 2021. They
Yeah.
said we're always working on new hardware. They admitted they were working on the next Xbox
Yeah, they
years
so
ago.
yeah, so
So,
we know that they're doing it. It's just
so
that we don't know when it's coming.
right. So with that said, like they never announced anything. They can say that well, the way they said it was like we're always working on new hardware,
Okay.
and
Well,
they always got new prototypes and stuff out there. But just there's no purpose for him to admit anything at all at this point. And if he could actually convince Sony that they don't have anything to work on, then Sony isn't out there trying to find out what they're doing. I mean,
okay.
they may do that, like in general, but when you know there's an existence, like they knew what the Xbox Series X was, Project Scorpio. What's that working with?
Right.
Do we need to? So if they don't know you got something coming, they may not decide to say, "Hey, let's add more RAM." Say, let's change this. Let's overclock the CPU because we just found out that their new device is running at this. So let's do that. Like if they don't know anything, they
Right.
don't need. They're not going to adjust to anything, and it's
So,
just there's just no reason for him to admit anything at this point in time.
hmm. So, okay. So, moving on to the last part of this, for the next, okay. So, PlayStation, Xbox, what does this next console refresh, even if it's a new gen or just refreshes to the ones we have already, a half step or whatever
Mhm.
they want to call it? What does it have to be? I know, in my opinion, what
You
it
mean
has to be.
as far as performance goes?
Yes. What does it have to be? Or
Okay,
what is it going? What it
30
has to be and what it's
FPS
going to be.
needs to be a distant memory. It's for
Right.
that hardware. Nothing is 30 frames per second. Your
Right.
quality mode needs to be at 60, and then have a performance mode that does, depending on the game, 120, or maybe it's just um less graphical settings, or maybe it's your quality mode is ray tracing at 60, but then like things like that. Like you need to be able to push it forward. If it's just getting less games that have 30 frames per second, but you're still getting Gotham Knights happening and stuff like that,
Hmm.
don't bother. If your hardware can't do better than what the PS5 is doing, then Sony, don't bother with PS5 Pro, please. Yeah, Xbox. If you're not doing significantly better than the Xbox Series X, do not bother. Wait.
But do
I
we
don't want
actually?
to see 720p on a damn thing coming out of this new hardware.
So you don't want to see Final
Nothing
Fantasy
dropping
at all?
dynamically dropping the 720p. You better dynamically get your behind back into the studio and work on that. Like none. I don't want to see any of that on
But
that on the new hardware. And
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I kind of feel like. So I don't know how people consider this, where if they just they're both using AMD, right?
Yep.
And the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S are Zen 2 on the CPU side, RDNA 2 on the GPU side. Does this mean that is the PS5 Pro going to be RDNA 3, or is it still RDNA 2 just with more CUDA cores,
Mm-hmm.
just with more, just actual more power there, but it's the same architecture from before. Uh, just changing it to RDNA 3 and Zen 4 or whatever, does that make it a whole new system? Is it not really a pro at that point? I
Mm.
don't know.
Well, that's the
I
thing
mean,
that I was thinking. Like, is it really a pro if they're like,
these are custom APUs anyway, so they're not using like discrete CPU GPU like we get on PC. These are
custom APUs
custom
and
made
stuff?
APUs for each of these platforms, but the architecture that they're putting it on, is it like, how far are they willing to go? And maybe that determines how much like the stuff costs, or whether like they decide to just not like launch in another 2 or 3 years.
And that's what I
Because
think it is at that point.
yeah,
What's the
I don't
price
know.
of
We'll
performance?
have to see.
What's the real number for price for performance to get to what your number is for performance? Because I agree, that was the thing we talked about this at the beginning of this entire generation. I remember vividly telling people on this podcast, like, I can't wait for you guys to finally experience what 60 frames per second is like. And we remember Twitter was on fire. People were up here talking like, I don't mind 30 frames per second. I don't mind this. I don't mind that. And I'm like, you wrong, because you ain't never experienced what real 60 frames per second looks like. And guess what happened? People got a chance to experience slow-mo and they loved it. And they don't want to go back. But guess what? We went back hundreds of times, it feels like, this generation. And we didn't get the perceived promise of what these, systems were supposed to be, especially when, shout out to Aaron Greenberg. I think he does a great job with Xbox. But when he comes out and says that everything's 60 frames per second,
And it turns out it's not the case. Look,
and that's the goal.
I am in the minority on this, but I don't care. I'll stand on my soapbox with it. I think, like, some people believe it's the Xbox Series S's fault that Starfield is only 30 frames per second on consoles, and I think no. I think it's both of them. I think both the Series X and the Series S can't maintain a consistent close to 60 frames per second on that game.
I don't think there's any console that can, honestly.
And so I think that's why they just say, hey, we can go 30. And I don't even know if 30 is going to be locked on it. We'll see in another week, right? When all the testing and stuff comes out. But and I people are playing it now. We know people who are playing it now. I've heard
good stories about.
I've heard good stories about the performance. I heard it's smooth, so it probably is.
I also heard everybody say they played it on PC that has it on PC too.
I haven't heard that yet. We can talk offline. But no, I think the Series X couldn't do a lock 60 either. So that's why. And the reason why, when we get the spec sheet for Starfield on PC in a few days, people are going to be looking at that like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What's that CPU for recommended? What is that? Did that just come out last year? Like, that's going to be the reaction. And so, look, yeah, the game, the excuse they made was, artistic vision. Todd Howard with his jacket. I like our lighting system. I like the system that we have, and we can make this custom made, volumetric lighting, and it's custom. Whatever, Todd. Whatever, Todd.
Whatever
you couldn't get 60 FPS, Todd.
He said you couldn't get 60.
So it was a sliding scale between 30 and 60. And you said, you know what? We're just gonna do 30.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you had stronger hardware, you'd have did 60. So yeah.
All right.
And one last thing, I don't want to see 8K.
No,
I don't
please not.
They tried that the slightly marked 8K with these current consoles. That's a joke. That's a laugh. I'm sorry. 8K ain't a thing. It's not even really 8K TVs out here like that. Marketing to who? The 20
Right.
people that own the 8K TV in North America? Nobody gives a damn about 8K. What we want is frames. And I know you
Right.
can't market frames as good as resolution because you could actually show that, on a screenshot or something, or put it on a box. It's easy. Like people know what that means. Like casuals, because they see their TV, they know, hey, I got a 4K TV. I have a 1080p TV. I got a 1440p monitor. They know those things, but they don't know frame rates like that. But it's your job to educate them because, frankly, going out here and they start pushing 8K again, we ain't never gonna get rid of 30 FPS. No, I'm done. Oh, did I lose Forte again? Oh no! Don't tell me his power is well. The stream is still up. Forte. Let me go look at the chat. What's the chat doing? Brian East, yeah, 8K is a buzzword. It is, yes.
Yeah.
I'm back. Okay, you're back. This has been the most frustrating stream. It's like every 5 minutes.
Doing something crazy.
Rose or Double O says the new Hisense TVs are 144 hertz. Really?
We switch this
For a TV? I gotta get back on the TV scene. I used to just this is when I was in the office. When I was bored, I finished all my work, and I could be on ratings.com reading reviews of TVs and headsets and monitors. I would just do that for like half the day, and I need to get back up on the TV scene because we definitely got a TV in one of our in the living room that we're going to eventually have to replace at some point because it's definitely starting to show its age, and I want to get something that is I wanted to get another LG, but if that Hisense is really hitting 144 hertz like that, I might have to, because those are going to be cheaper than a LG of comparable features. So I might have to roll that way. Captain Crunch is 120 hertz TV to play Starfield at 30. That's brutal. That is brutal. What is this? Google posted Sony will have a lot of remakes that you all bought last year. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out for some reason my audio in my headphones
we need to end the show.
Went completely kaput.
We need to end this show.
You said what?
We need to end the show is what we need to do.
I'm about to just switch to these speakers. And switch to this. And say something now. There you go.
Got Hisense that's 4K 60.
You talk about the G9? I
don't know when I bought it. It was the best. I think. I forgot. I'll have to go.
All right. So let's get this last one out of here before we turn this off. It was the last time I did this bonus question. You see the screen? What are your thoughts?
Forte. How?
Say something. I had to switch the input on the headset because my headset for some reason dropped.
It's like 80% of the show was troubleshooting. Literally 80% of this show was troubleshooting.
It's not.
It is.
No, it's not. What's your thoughts, Slomo?
On what?
the screen.
Oh, I mean, seems mostly reasonable except for the GPUs.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think? What do you think of those GPUs?
Again, we have SSD this is for Forza Motorsport PC specs. SSD, at minimum, I say the SSD is required. And for once, the first time I've seen VRAM requirement for ultra settings is actually showing 16 gigs of VRAM.
Yep. When I saw that, I was like, wow.
So those VRAM requirements are up there now, and that really kind of like I didn't expect to see that until maybe another year from now. My 12 gig 3080 Ti. Look, I'm gonna say I'm glad I don't like simulation racers.
Yeah, because you ain't gonna be able to max this out.
Nope. I mean, I don't max most games out like that. Well, on 1440p, yes, but in 4K or nah. And in this 1440p probably would be out of the question as well. But I'm not playing this because I don't like this.
You don't want to go. You don't want to make left turns. Even though Forza has right turns in it too. Not just left.
if I have insomnia, maybe I'll install the game and go to sleep immediately before I even do anything. But no, we need to wrap this up, man. Before you kill the stream again or kill off my audio or something.
Oh my God. Shout out to Slow Mo for enduring this show with me today. He's gonna.
I need to do the
what?
We need a question for the code for lost Eidolons.
Let me see. Lost Eidolon. What kind of question you want it to be?
Something DPS related, I guess.
Something DPS related. This is a good one.
Okay.
DPS? Who was the guest? Who was the guest? Who was the special guest for the episode with the highest views for DPS on it?
I remember that.
I remember it too.
But it's not just one person. Now I'm giving stuff away.
I know. I was like, why are you giving that away?
But you said the question wrong because you said who's the guest in singular and it's not plural. So two different people could give two different answers and both of them would be right.
Whoever would have gave the first answer right. Everybody looking at the DPS archives. What's the most? Ooh,
Miles is correct.
Yep, he sure is. Rand and Grub. Special
Miles,
credit to.
Go ahead.
Special credit to the person that can name what was the name of that episode.
Miles, do you have Twitter? If you have Twitter, I will DM you the code for the game. Congratulations, Miles. If you don't have Twitter, then email. I mean, I can email it to you. It's whatever.
What's crazier about that question though? It could have been across either one of our show. It could have been on your channel. It could have been on mine. So they had to do some research if they wanted to see it.
Or maybe they were just there and they remember.
Yeah, well, Miles is always here. Shout out to Ron. He says a developer. Slow Mo, what you got going on your channel? And what you got going on for the next week?
Look for my review of the Expanse episode 3 by Saturday.
Woo!
Hopefully, if not Saturday, Sunday. It'll definitely be out this weekend. I probably would do a live stream on the DPS channel as well. Who knows what I'm going to be playing, but probably want to play something soon. Maybe I'll stream us playing Remnant again.
That was fun.
The show is taking this episode has taken a lot out of me. It is taking a lot out of me right now. I don't even know what to say, what to do.
Oh my god. I'm gonna edit this one just so I can put him out of his misery.
Yeah, shout out to the DPS stream as well. There's been a lot of little chatter going on over there as well. Shout out to everyone that has spoken of this. Shout out to Muck45, Baron from Level 1 Gaming. Shout out to Baron and Dirk Riggedy. Dirk Riggedy was came through over there, so shout out to you guys. Yeah, man. We look, I'm gonna get with Forte. We're gonna get in Discord. I'm gonna have him show his screen. I'm gonna fix this.
Oh my god!
Because this cannot continue any further. This the comedy of errors is gotta stop. It's
like the first time in weeks.
It's
months
not.
Actually.
It is not the first time. You know, every other episode. You start the episode with me muted. You know that, right?
I didn't start it with you muted today.
Yeah, but you muted me today at some point anyway. So that's even worse. You ended up muting me during the show for some odd. No, I'm not. Miles, that's your Twitter handle. Okay, I will send you. I'll send you the code tonight, Miles. I'll try to get it done tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow morning for certain.
Oh yeah. I'm about to get bodied off screen, y'all. Read them your channel member, sir.
Okay.
If you don't have them up, I'll do mine first.
Yeah, I don't have it up right now.
All right. Shout out to Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Donnell Brown, Arodimus, Dragonheart Yobi, Stardust Acero, Ramon Terrell, Hargi Shani, Corey Hale, Slow-Mo Backslap, probably not for too much longer after this show. DJ Oris and that guy Smitty, really appreciate you guys for all the love and support, and can't wait to do it again with you guys next week on Slow-Mo's channel, where I'm gonna be literally looking for every mistake that man does during the stream next week,
and he will find none. And he will find none.
And we're gonna put a ticker. I'm gonna make a ticker just for it.
A ticker for zero mistakes.
Yeah, we'll see if it stays at zero. But go ahead, Slow-Mo.
If we had a ticker for tonight, it would be broken. It would break. It was probably coded for like 3-digit numbers, and the numbers would be. But anyway,
that's funny.
Shout out to Leon Warfield, Vebe, Donnell Brown, Dragonheart Yobi, Enrique, Hargi Shani, Truth Serum, Arodimus, Ramon Terrell, aka Trent Birdsong. Trevor Birdsong.
Trevor Birdsong.
I keep saying Trent. Homie One Kenobi. Game and Forte. Corey, Hale, Stardust Cicero, and that guy Smitty, who said he is building a PC.
Yeah, baby.
That's what I like to hear.
All right.
We're getting out of here. We're gonna hopefully we did not extend you guys' night too long.
Well, we appreciate you guys, and for myself, you're already on the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Got a couple Xbox videos coming out later this week. And guess what? I survived a launch of a Destiny DLC. It didn't OD on it. I was able to make it through the first 24 hours. It's great, and haven't turned it on today at all. So with that being said, we see you guys next week, episode 146 on Slow-Mo's channel. And when we get some special guests, we'll announce it over the course of next week. We probably got a couple in the works for you guys, and really appreciate you guys. So we see you again. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the games you're playing. Peace.